Are we, though? Are we really?
Discord's so fucking loud. Where's my other Discord thing? Okay, so it's this first one. I don't know. Are we not back?
No, we are.
Okay.
Trying to completely put the title together to figure out exactly how you feel.
Oh, we can talk about it. We can talk about my I guess I'll open the world so we can actually like get going. I don't have a controller plugged in.
Oh, gross.
What?
Playing Elden Ring with mouse and keyboard.
I haven't actually. I've just been tabbing into it with mouse and
I
keyboard.
know. That's why I was saying though, like, ew, gross. Like,
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, playing. Ooh, game's a little bit unhappy about me doing that. Yeah, we have the fucking. We have the Elden Beast. We have the Soul of God. I forgot about that.
Yep, the only soul we found so far.
So, the story of Elden Ring, the story of Starfield is interesting. This is actually super. It's strange because depending on when you asked me, like when someone would have talked to me about Starfield, I would have had very different answers.
Oh, I know where you're at in the main story then.
I don't think you do.
I have an idea.
Because the next thing I'm about to tell... Here, I'll give you a hint. I reached level 25 before I ever found a second artifact.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because I mean, that's technically not true. I technically hit level 25 after I went to, like, 3 temples and got a bunch of powers. But,
I was level 40 before I got my first power.
yeah, and it was like, because what I was doing, and I was on hard the whole time.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, and I got to Deimos, or not Cincinnati, but whatever like Sidonia is. I got to that.
Oh, Mars.
Yeah, and it was like, hey, it was the second mission of the main campaign. And it's like, hey, let's go to Mars and try to find this Vanguard pilot because maybe he'll know where the artifact is or whatever, right? So we get there and I start doing that. I immediately am sidetracked on like helping the miners like get tools and like helping another guy do a thing and like talking to a chick at the bar and like I'm just like I want to go and like explore the world because I want to immediately get sidetracked. You know, that's what you do with those kind of games.
100%.
And so I'm wandering around Mars, making like decisions and doing all that kind of stuff. And I inadvertently set myself up for disappointment immediately. Because I wandered into the Martian wastes and found what is so far an entirely unique location. I have not found that location reused again in all of my time playing since then. And so I'm assuming, and because it had a door in it that needed a key that I never found in that place, I'm assuming it's story related at some point or has some kind of quest that goes there, and it's a unique location because of that.
Okay. Yeah.
So my experience with Starfield was you're a miner, and then you meet Barrett, and you get a cool watch to sell collector's editions, and then you go back, and you're like, hey, welcome to the fucking cozy-ass lodge, we're gonna go find some weird space shit. I'm like, cool. It's like, let's go find this guy, he might have one. Okay, cool. We'll go to a planet. Wow, there's so much exploration, like quests, and there's a lot of NPCs to talk to. This is super neat. I'm gonna wander out into the desert, in the middle of my quest, and, like, find this thing. Oh, there's this really cool cave full of level 14, pirates and stuff. Oh my god, I'm like level 2. This is crazy. I'm gonna work my way through it. And it was like super tense and it was fun and like the loot was interesting and I was like, everything was new and exciting. And I'm like, I found my first legendary in there and I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And I found some contraband and I was introduced to all the systems and like I'm like, cool, I have stolen stuff, I've got contraband. I'm like, what are Veyruun writings? What's this legendary? What does this do? And it's like, it was super fucking cool. And I found that that chameleon pack that I told you about. Like
Yep.
that whole thing blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know there was invisibility. This is really, like, everything was really, really cool. And I was so excited to see, like, what else was going on, because, like, everything is new and exciting. Fantastic introduction to the game, honestly. Like, I was like, this is super fun. I can't wait to see what else is going on, right?
Right.
Then, that was
then I uninstalled the fucking game.
that was the last time I was interested in what was going on. That was like hour 5. Because then I was like, you know, I found the artifact, went back to the thing, like, oh, there's gonna be more of these. I'm like, okay. And then I fucked off for 30 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I got the second artifact.
That tracks.
I got the second artifact and was like, cool, I'm gonna go space explorationing. And I did. And I very soon realized that there are, in fact, like 3 different outposts that are just repeatedly scattered across the map. And there's like 4 different like camps. There's basically like very little diversity when it comes to like what a POI would look like in that game. Because like once you've seen like 3 or 4 of them, you've seen literally all of them, minus like what color they are because of the planet that they're on, and like sometimes some extra enemies, which becomes really boring when you start going to the exact same building on different planets 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, that's kind of disappointing, but you know, whatever. Maybe there's some unique stuff somewhere. And what I found out is I finally gave up on like doing that. I had been, I wandered around for like 30 or so hours, maybe 40 hours, and I was getting really bored of the systems not really meaning anything, because to get anywhere with any of the systems, and I mean like modding like weapons or spacesuits or any of that, or even
The leveling is a fucking slog.
Yeah, getting to the point where you can actually do that stuff is such a chore, and it doesn't matter. Like, the difficulty in the game, as with Skyrim, I don't remember if Skyrim gave you more XP when you got like higher difficulties, but it just being like a player imposed, I want to make the game slower.
The only way it worked is because like the way XP worked in Skyrim was how much damage you did to shit. So if stuff had a lot of health, you hit it a lot with a one-handed sword, or in the case of like using destruction on Shadowmere.
Yeah, there was a reason to make it harder, because the more health things had, the more XP you were getting.
Yeah.
Effectively, which makes...
Yeah, no, that's basically all it was higher health,
and that's why
you hit a bunch of more...
That's why I played on higher difficulties in Skyrim, because it was like, I want more XP so I can experience more of the game by having more shit, because I'm leveling more.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. In Starfield, it doesn't fucking matter. It just makes shit harder for no XP payout. Like, there's no reason to play at a higher level other than I want the game to be slower. And
you get better loot.
Yeah. I haven't been convinced that, like, that's why I'm doing it, but I'm still not really convinced that that matters.
Realistically, no. And I'll tell you that because I use basic white fucking gear.
You just end up using, like, you will find legendary and epic gear, and it'll have a bunch of shit on it, because, you know, 2 things is epic and 3 things is legendary, and it could have some cool combinations. It does 30 fucking damage, and you have a white that does fucking 150. It's like, okay, I could shoot at something with this golden weapon for like 10 minutes and waste all of my ammo, or I could shoot at it one time with a pistol and kill it instantly.
Yeah. Because it does... I don't remember what game does it, but there's a tier system of, like, as you get to higher levels, you'll get better stuff. So there's, like, calibrated, refined, advanced. Yeah.
So I realized what it was doing, and I was like, okay, so the rarity system is technically telling you, basically at a glance, this has a lot of extra, like, modifiers on it. Not necessarily, like, abilities on it. Not necessarily, like, it's better because you have, like, a regular Grendel, and a calibrated Grendel, and a specialist, whatever. Like, you have that stuff, and that's technically, like, it's level ranges that are just making the base weapon more powerful at base, and then on top of that, you have the rarity system that has more shit on it, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
And it's
essentially is what it is.
Like, and that's fine, you end up with the issue of then most of the shit that you're finding that's legendary, because of the way that it doesn't... Being a higher level does not prevent the trash from spawning. It doesn't just shift your entire game world to being like, okay, now all the whites you're finding are, you know, the calibrated version, so it's like everything's a higher level. You're still finding a shit ton of just regular baby level 1 nonsense.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get a ton of garbage.
And it's like, I'm playing at a higher difficulty for a chance of more, like, high-tier loot that is also rolling onto garbage loot. So I'm getting a bunch of modifiers on trash gear because it doesn't get rid of the trash gear. It just keeps it there as, like, more stuff that I can not care about. Which doesn't... And I'm still on very hard because I just kind of want to be. But, like, it doesn't matter, and all it's doing is slowing the game down, because it's like I could just run through a bandit camp on normal and be done with it and get my 500 XP, which is never going to happen. You get like 35. But like you get your XP and get out and you're done. And like you can move on to the next thing instead of spending an hour there trying to slowly whittle away at a fucking chief with a sniper rifle. And it's like, sure. My issue, going back to the systems, is by the time you can even engage with that, it doesn't fucking matter. Because, like, what you said is you're finding, like, a common weapon that just is better than whatever you're finding that's higher. And it's like, yeah, you can throw a fucking, yeah, sure, you can throw a suppressor on a pistol so you can be in stealth more often, or you could change the scope. It's not gonna fucking change your experience at all. You're better off just rolling the dice and finding a suppressed weapon and just using it for just because than you are sitting there investing a ton of points in weapon craftsman and spacesuit craftsman and like the other thing that like lets you do specialist stuff to like get actually the higher stuff. I currently am invested in those crafting systems, and it's like it doesn't fucking matter. Like it doesn't. It's there to just kind of exist. And that sentiment is the way I feel about pretty much every system in the game. Like, the things exist, but they don't matter. Like, the outpost stuff exists, doesn't matter. The resources, like, all of the resources in the game, like, anything that you can find and pick up that weighs, like, 1,000,000 fucking pounds, you can have 1 billion platinum and titanium and comms relays and struts and cores and all this other stuff, and you're gonna use it. You're gonna use one of them ever to like upgrade a thing, and then you're never gonna need it again. But it'll sit there filling up your fucking inventory forever. And even if you do invest in the resource track of things, and even if you do want to build bases and mod all of your stuff and have all the stuff upgraded, once you've gotten to that point, all you've done is made it slightly better to find more of the shit that you're never gonna use for anything. And there's genuinely not a reason to invest in like the resources or the outposts or the fucking crafting even, because it's just you're gonna find better stuff and it doesn't fucking matter. It exists to exist, and there's no point in bothering with it, which is like, okay, so if I turn my brain off and ignore the entire crafting side of the game, I'm playing like a kind of okay space pseudo RPG FPS with a somewhat interesting story and really bad everything else. Like, initially I was kind of on the track of, like, people are being too mean, like, the game is fine, it's just kind of janky and whatever, it's fine. And as I played more, I was like, wow, the only reason I thought that was because I was being introduced to everything, so everything was new. And then the second I found all of the quote-unquote, like, the 1 or 2 variants of things that they decide to do in that game, everything becomes a repeat. Like, I have now talked to the exact same NPC in 3 different places for like 2 different quests. Like, literally copy-pasted NPC, same voice actor, same everything. I'm like, oh hey, it's black woman with curly hair and kind of a sassy personality. I met you at the bar. Oh, you're also on this ship? Oh, you're also in charge of this other thing? That's crazy. Like, the dialogue options are the most illusion of choice I've ever fucking seen in a game. Where it's like...
It is, yeah, that definitely is the Bethesda RPG right there,
but it's not, it isn't, though. And, like, I thought that, too. I was like, man, this must just be, I must be, like, remembering Bethesda games wrong. Because it's like, I can say 6 different things, but it's not going to advance dialogue until I say the one that they want to hear. And it's like, even if that were, which is not how Skyrim was, because I watched some Skyrim footage like someone going through and playing Skyrim, and like the writing, just the writing here in Skyrim is more compelling. The random fucking people that you talk to and like the side factions and the quests and stuff, the like the writing's better, and like what you can say and do is so much more interesting in fucking Skyrim than the main shit in Starfield so far that I've been able to tell. And like, yeah, there was stuff in like a lot of the time it was like you got to say like the correct thing to get the dialogue to go forward, but it felt like you had more options, and the options that you had, if they were limited, were more interesting. Like talking to someone in Starfield is the most, it feels extremely disconnected at times, and by at times I mean most of the time. Some like, it's the inverse, where like occasionally you'll find a conversation that's like, wow, that was a really well done conversation, but most of the time it's just incoherent nonsense that doesn't string together at all. And like, okay, that's whatever. And I don't know, man. It like, when the only reason I feel like I was enjoying the game was because I hadn't realized how shallow every single possible system was yet, because I hadn't experienced it yet. But as soon as I like talked to 3 people and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks, and I was like, I had messed with the crafting system a bit, and it's like, oh, this kind of is pointless, and it's like I wandered around in my quote-unquote space exploration, and I was like, oh, it's the same 3 buildings but recolored because different planet smile, and it's like, that's boring. And I'm like, oh, the loot's all the same, okay. And it like, it's just like, if you took the area, if you took Whiterun and the area around it and carved it out and then just fucking put a coat of paint on it and copied it literally 1,000 times, and it was like, look how much space there is to go do the same thing but slightly recolored with a different atmosphere. It's so fucking shallow and unnecessary to have so much to do, and it's all the same fucking thing, but with like different jump height because the gravity's different, and sometimes you get poisoned if you walk into a certain spot. It's so fucking just, I don't like, I literally got disillusioned. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. Oh, wait a minute, this is all that the game is. Okay. And what was really fucking annoying, and then I found out because I started doing the main story like yesterday. I started continuing it, and I was doing that apparently out of order because I technically did mission 5 instead of 3 and 4. Anyway, I realized that I was like, wow, these places are really cool. And I've done, I fully romanced Sarah before having ever done like what I told you about. Like, I did her whole thing, her romance, her quest line, her whole story. I did all of that before ever like going back to the lodge and being like, and like meeting what's his face to like learn about the other artifacts. Like, I had already done all that, so I was like, cool, time to do other shit. And I realized that the only places so far that seem to have any amount of effort going in to make them feel interesting and unique is the main stuff, which is like kind of would make sense in like 2010. Like, I feel like we're at a point now where if you don't make, if you only put your effort into designing places that you guarantee no people are gonna see, in quotes, because it's like main story, or it's one of your very, 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 very few romanceable companions, if that's the only place you put effort into like making the content interesting, I feel like you just kind of fucked up.
And you haven't done any of like the Crimson Fleet or Vanguard stuff, have you?
Started it. The person I'm watching play it has been doing it, so I've seen a lot of the Crimson Fleet thing, and I feel the same way, where it's like,
so the fleet stuff's a little half-baked, and I feel because that's the whole issue with the rating system on the game, but the Vanguard storyline is actually really fucking good.
And that's fine. I'm totally down for like finding a new thing, but it doesn't change the fact that like the effort.
Oh, I don't.
It like
yeah.
the effort's only gone into the places where they pretty much can guarantee that the player's gonna see it. So if you were just like the gaming dad who's like, oh, time to play my space Fallout, and you just go and you follow the safe paths and you don't go off and explore, and you only really see things off the beaten path like once or twice, you're probably gonna think the game is fantastic. But like, if you do literally anything that isn't the carved out path that they want you to, like, if you veer off like the game reviewer journalism route at all, you immediately hit, like, not even like, oh, you have to go a little bit to do it, like, oh, maybe if you follow this quest chain a little bit, or if you like wander off a kilometer on a planet, yeah, it's gonna get sparse. No, if you fucking deviate from the path at all, it's like, this sucks. It just does. Immediately off the path, which sucks because if you do that in Skyrim, you can do a lot of shit in Skyrim. You can do a lot of shit in Fallout. Like, Bethesda is not a stranger to making the game interesting off the beaten path. Like, some of the best content in those games is you wandered off a direction and found a thing, and now you're like 7 hours deep in this side story because you randomly figured out how to do, like, You randomly wandered into a cave, heard a story about a weird piece of armor, went and found it. Now you're talking to a fucking, like, a demigod and learning magic powers and, like, having all this weird side shit go on, and you haven't even been to fucking Whiterun yet. And meanwhile, if you do that in Starfield, you've wandered through the same fucking bandit camp 19 fucking times and have a bunch of garbage that doesn't matter for a system you're never gonna fucking use because it doesn't have any impact on the game at all. And it's like, I don't feel compelled, because not by any fault of my own. I'm desperately wanting the game to give me things to give a fuck about or to be interesting enough to want to engage in the systems, and I gave them 30 or 40 hours to compel me to give a fuck about the crafting or the exploration or any of that, or the dialogue or the fucking people. And it's just, oh, the companions even. Like, I was like, oh, this is really fun. The companions will be interesting because, you know, Fallout had good companions, and so did Skyrim, where they all had their own personalities, and, like, a lot of them had, like, quests and, like, things to do and help them with. And even if it wasn't a big thing, it was still, like, you had to talk to them about, like, a thing that was making them sad or something. There was a reason to invest in, like, in the ghoul guy from fucking Fallout 4 that I can't remember the name of.
Hancock?
Yeah, like, everyone kind of had their own thing, and there was, like, you talk to some of them, and they're like, hey, I do archery, and, like, I was kicked out of this place, or whatever, or, like, Serena, which is an unfair comparison to make, because she basically was a DLC character that had a whole fucking plot point around her. But the companions in those two games all kind of felt pretty unique. There were a handful that were kind of copy-paste, like, while Lydia's pretty unique, she's still just like, I'm just a person with, like, a sword. You can find a bunch of those, and it's like, whatever, that's fine. But the game, God, it really is fitting. It really is Oops All Night Cavalry. But, like, it felt like they all had their own personalities, and they were all interesting, and you could, like, actually do stuff with each of them. And from what I remember, a lot of them, there weren't a lot of romanceable options, because, like, not every companion could be, like, married, I think.
You talking about Fallout or Skyrim?
Skyrim, now.
Skyrim, you could marry random NPCs off the street.
Yeah, and then that's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say that and then not remembering it correctly, because I remember...
The fucking person I married was the fucking vendor in Whiterun that liked Khajiit. I don't remember her name. But she was just a random NPC that ran a fucking, you know, stall and was like, yeah, I really like the Khajiit. And I was like, all right, cool.
But see, that's what I remember about Skyrim. And I remember in Fallout, like, I really liked how kind of unique the, like, how unique...
I thought the companions in Fallout 4 were garbage, so you gotta convince me otherwise.
I think that compared to the completely non-existent companion system in Starfield, that the Fallout 4 companions were so much better.
They are... Honestly, to me, they feel 1-1. They both feel bad. Because,
and not even on a subjective level, but I'm just getting, like, because I don't care, because people can have, like, people can be attached to shit, and people can not like shit because of, like, whatever subjective reasoning. The thing that actually, like, I looked at and went, this is fucking tragic, is...
My game crashed, by the way.
Very pog. You're an enemy for me right now because my bonfire is unlit.
You better run.
So, from an objective level, because obviously subjective is subjective, but of all the people you can find and talk to, there's 4 that you can romance or like give a fuck about and like do things with. There's 4, which is like, oh, really? Like, that feels really shit. And that, like, there's a ton of people you can find that are all like basically randomly generated nonsense people that like you can recruit to your ship and do stuff with. But of all the quote-unquote companions you can find, there's 4 of them you can do anything with that actually have purpose for the player to like engage with, which seems wildly shallow in terms of like, the system exists, we did the bare fucking minimum. And that kind of feels like what the rest of the systems in Starfield are like to me, now that I've like experienced a bit of it like around, where it's just like, the system is there, cool, what can I do with it? Very little to nothing. Oh, but it's there because it just checks a box. Yeah, it basically feels like it's just a series of checking boxes.
I mean,
like,
the crafting system hasn't changed at all from Skyrim. Like, the whole crafting system's been the same since Fallout 4.
Yes, it has.
So.
That's the
that's fine. I'm just saying, like,
fucking, like, yeah.
That's just how their games have always worked, though. The crafting has never meant to be super in depth to where like it completely changes the game. It's just
my question is,
it changes up your play style.
My question is then, why? Like, I think specifically like because I don't really give a fuck. Like, I was never really one to like care that much about the crafting in Skyrim. Like, I did it and like it had benefits, but like, yeah, it was limited and who cared. But it felt a lot less cumbersome and a lot less like annoying to do in terms of like how you did it than Starfield, which might just be like me remembering it fondly because of other reasons. But
I mean, it's literally the same thing. You get iron, steel, whatever ingot you need, and then you fucking go to a grindstone and just put on whatever you want.
You didn't need to go find a planet that had a constituent part, wander around, find that thing, get like 20 of those, go to a different planet that has a different resource, find the animal that drops it, kill it. Okay, now go back to a workbench, combine those into a resource, which takes 10 of each, so you only get like 3 of those. Now take those 3 things that you found that took like 5 hours of wandering around looking for things organically, come back to the workbench and make exactly 1 laser scope for your pistol. Like,
I mean, that's how it's always worked. It's just a larger scale now.
But when you do that, and also, no, that isn't, like, in Skyrim you would find like a raw ore, do a little cutscene, and then go and take that, smelt it into a fucking thing, and then use that to upgrade your item. It was
if
like,
you had all the proper stuff upgraded in your smithing tree, yeah.
Ignoring the smithing tree for a minute. Ignoring in both no, I'm serious. In both Skyrim and Starfield, ignore the investment it takes to actually like unlock the ability to do the thing. Ignore that and just look at the acquisition of minerals and materials and then like the steps taken to get to the point where you need it to be. Starfield is a cumbersome, unnecessary fucking slog to just exist because we have to have a crafting system.
I mean, I've never found it an issue because I just go to a fucking vendor and buy the stuff I need.
Right. And that's what you end up doing, which at that point, you just fucking console command yourself the resources, because why are you waiting hours and hours and hours for the vendor to restock or whatever? Like, trying to wander around and find a vendor that specifically sells, you know, resources, and then like, oh, I found one that sells it, time to buy all that I can and then wait 24 hours for the thing to restock and then do it all over again. It's like, at that point, just fucking console command the fucking resource into your inventory, because it's just a tedious fucking slog for no reason.
I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to do. I mean, I don't know. The crafting system's always been like this, so it's not something I found.
I guess my issue with it.
Let's say go ahead. Because my issue is just with the leveling system in general. It
hasn't. What you said is it hasn't changed in fucking 15 years. It's like, yeah, it hasn't. Maybe do something more with it instead of just doing the same thing but with a different coat of paint. I don't know. Anyway,
it just depends on how many people want that.
I feel like every system is that shallow, though. Like, every single aspect of the game is just kind of like, it's one step away from being a text adventure on a fucking, on an old, like in an old website where you're like, I walk to the store, hello, I'm the fucking person. Like, it's one, it feels very much like it's a game that if it came out 15 years ago, it would have been impressive and it would have been neat. But now that that same game has come out 30 fucking times, it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, well, I hate this.
Anyway, what's your issue about the leveling system that's objectively bad?
My main complaint with Starfield is how far behind everything is locked behind levels. I think you need, what, 600-something levels to have every skill point in the game. So, like, to properly level stuff, especially when looking at the crafting system, you have to invest a shit ton of time and levels into it just to be able to craft. That I find to be bad, personally.
But that's the thing, though, is, like, you have, like, that sentiment is the same thing that I'm saying, where it's, like, you have to, like, all that time investment to finally... You want to hit it? You got it too weak. I wasn't gonna fucking take that. Oh, God.
Oh, I didn't care. There's a third one somewhere.
Like, that is the exact same thing as what I was saying about the crafting system. Is like,
so, let me rephrase.
Okay.
I guess, because the way I look at it, the crafting system's the same shit craft system it's been since Fallout 3, and I'm fine with that. That's just how Bethesda crafting has been. I'm not overly worried about that. The thing I don't like, if I want to upgrade my starships, if I want to do certain things with researching and with actually crafting, I have to worry about upgrading set amount of points in either tech or science, and I have to worry about doing all that up to that. The issue being is that you need so many artificial levels to get anywhere in Starfield to do anything meaningful. That's the thing I don't like. Basically, all I did was set up a fucking outpost that had cobalt and fucking nickel, and I made magnets on nauseam till I was level 70. And then I could finally just play the game.
Right. But that is how every other system in the game works, and that's my issue with it. Is, like, regardless of if you're trying to, like, sit there and having to, like, artificially level so you can, like, start playing the game and do something, at least with the thing that you're worrying about, at least you can actually get to the point where your time investment... I don't really give a shit because, like, we're all choosing to play the game. But, like, you get to a point where you can actually, like, reap rewards out of the system that you want to do. Because you can, like, fly higher class ships or build higher class stuff or whatever. Like, you're actually getting to the point where you can do something. Whereas pretty much every other system is just, like, you can invest in it, but it doesn't really do anything. Like, at all. There's no real point in doing any of it. I don't like the systems that are, like, objectively locking abilities out of the player's hands by just having an arbitrary level restriction behind them. Like, I can't use a boost pack because I haven't invested in that perk yet. I don't think...
I think you should be able to use boost pack.
Like, I don't give a shit to, like, waste a level on that because of how infrequent the leveling is. It's like, I want to do other stuff. I don't really care enough to get the boost pack, which is really dumb that is, like, unlocked by just getting a level and a skill. Like, that should just kind of be a baseline thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to withdraw to do this shit. I forgot.
And it's just everything feels like that, though. Like, it all comes back to you could spend time working on this because you want it. Like, I could invest in doing ship stuff so I could, like, have a better ship experience and, like, have higher tier stuff. I'm never going to because I don't care. And like, even if I hadn't tried to invest in the crafting thing, because I like fiddling with my guns and, like, you know, just making them more usable to me, even if I'm going to be using stuff I find off the ground, I want to throw, like, you know, a suppressor on it, or like a stock or something. I want to throw something on it to make it a little bit better. To even be able to do that, you need so much shit. Like, you need levels, then you have to do the fucking stupid-ass challenges for the level. You can't just get the thing. So, once you do get to the point where you can do a thing, you have to, like, craft 30 weapon attachments, which you're never going to have the resources to do that, or the weapons to do that on. to be able to like actually use the skill, or the next skill rather. And it's like you end up spending so much time doing stuff that doesn't matter in that game that it's just unfun. It's like if you want a high enough level to be able to build certain ships or fly certain class or do something with like a thing, you gotta like fucking grind out levels, unlock the thing, do the stuff, actually invest in it. Cool, now you can finally play the game. At least your system lets you play the game the way that you want, because realistically, I don't need to invest in crafting because I can just pick up a gun and deal with it. I don't have to invest in that, but if I choose to, it basically doesn't mean anything. And like, if I find an NPC that I like, I can't do anything with them. And only 4 of them have a unique personality out of like the 20 something that you can actually find, which is shit. I'm not going to sit here and say that every fucking location in Skyrim or Oblivion or Fallout were entirely unique, because they weren't. A lot of those caves are copy and paste. But it never really felt like it until I hit Starfield and it's like, oh, this is Bandit Camp 1 of 3. And there's really only like 5 different ones that like will sporadically go around the map. There's really only like 5. I'm not counting the ones that are just NPC places to like talk to fucking things for like flavor, where it's like, hey, I'm working with Company 1. We're building a new thing here, but I shouldn't have told you that. That conversation will happen 1,000 fucking times when you wander around in that game. Because it's just, we're building a mining outpost for Company, okay? Anyway, I'll see this exact set of NPCs on a different planet in like 5 minutes. So if you're really only talking about the places that have like things to kill, things to loot, you got like 5 different ones, and that's it. Unless you're on like a unique story section, which just kind of feels like garbage because of how much space is between everything and how long it takes to get anywhere. Like when you're on like the surface, it just feels like shit. It's just a vast empty nothingness with an occasional resource and maybe an animal if you got lucky. And hopefully you found one of the 4 planets that actually has any kind of like geology going on, that's not just barren wasteland with some rocks. It genuinely just kind of sucks. Like, as just like an experience. Like, oh wow, the same planet again, but green. Oh, this one's blue. That's cool. When am I going to get to a story planet that's actually relevant to the plot, so it actually has some effort gone into it? It just feels shallow and boring at that point, and it's like, okay, I don't care anymore.
Well, then you have the inverse of where I enjoy just exploring, the galaxy and going to new planets and landing and like exploring.
That's what I did for like 40 hours.
I know. I'm just saying, like that was the whole shtick of this game.
And I liked that early on. Except at some point, you're doing the same thing. Like in those like first 30 hours or so that I was doing that, it's like, this is really cool. And then I almost within the first like 5 hours was like, oh, I've done this exact same thing already like twice. I'm like, maybe that's just coincidence. 30 hours later, I've done the same thing 1,000,000 times.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, it's
I'm not gonna disagree with your points because they're all valid.
And at that point, it's like, why the fuck do if I can land on one planet, and if it looks very like deserted and whatever, I'll just fucking leave and go find one that has any kind of interesting geology going on, or like flora and fauna that's actually interesting to go and like mess with. And it's like, why am I doing this exactly? Oh, so I can find adhesive? Okay. Well, now I have all these minerals and these organic materials from this plant that I just explored. I surveyed the whole thing. Very neat. I feel accomplished. I'm going to go take these resources and do what with these? I could sell them, or I could use them to do a thing. Okay. Cool. Oh, that's pointless. And then suddenly the whole thing dominoes into the fact that it's like, why am I even doing the first thing? Like, if I'm going to play
if
like...
you're not having fun, don't play the game. I mean...
Yeah, but like, then I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is the game not interesting at that point, though? Like, it has... on paper, that could be really fucking cool. And it's just a fucking vast wasteland of nothing with location 1 of 5 scattered randomly around it that's always like 500 meters away, so it takes 5 minutes to get there. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And So you're 5 minutes between places, limited by 6 different ways to like have your movement like limited. And then also, it's just, you know, we haven't even talked about loading screen simulator, but like it's presenting itself like an interesting space exploration slash Bethesda's take on like go out to a planet and survey it and look over it and, you know, explore it and find places and do like loot and shoot and all this other cool stuff, and it's got RPG elements and people to talk to and interesting quests and all this stuff and, you know, whatever. It's like, oh cool. It's, you know, it's Bethesda, so you can really say it's supposed to be Fallout in space at that point. And it's so not that, because they have to blow out the Fallout map and the Fallout, like, interesting locations and the Fallout interesting NPCs or whatever. They have to blow their one game's worth of NPCs and story and locations. They have to blow that map out across, like, fucking 150 different places. And when you do that, it becomes so fucking boring to try to find the interesting shit scattered around the literal wasteland of nothing that it's just, why even fucking bother?
Yeah.
Like, at that, it's like I want that game to be fun because it could be, and it was initially, because I hadn't realized that it was way less interesting than it really was. Like, you know, I'm
100 hours in and still having fun, so it's, like, I feel a lot of it's subjective, unfortunately.
I'm 50 or 60, but at this point, like yesterday, I was starting to get really, I was starting to look at it and go, like, man, I want to invest in these, like, these different things and do these different things. And then, like, as I'm looking at, like, what the track would be and, like, what I'd actually get out of it, I'm like, this doesn't fucking matter. Like, the interesting locations and the interesting and compelling stories and the fun NPCs and, like, the stuff that I actually want to get out of, like, a Bethesda RPG, they exist there. But the stuff that they've done well in the past, like, I really liked Skyrim's, like, main story. And its side stories were awesome. And, like, the factions were awesome. And, like, just wandering around was fun. Because you'd find shit constantly that was pretty much unique. And, like, it was like, this is cool. And that's what I liked Fallout for. It was like, this is also unique and fun. Because you can just go somewhere and do a thing. And that's, like, interesting and fun. And finding those places, trying to find that in Starfield is like, it exists, maybe, but you're gonna have to go, you're gonna probably be like 3 to 4 hours between each of those mildly interesting things, as opposed to it being like 20 minutes to an hour in a different Bethesda game. It's like, I don't really want to spend that much time wandering through nothingness to find something that's vaguely interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that was their whole shtick with this game, though, so...
I feel like you can do that, but not in the most lazy, bare-bones way that they did it in.
Oh, that I don't wholly disagree with.
Like, you can make a really cool, like, occasionally a planet will kind of be barren, or occasionally, like, a set of NPCs will not be interesting. Like, not everything has to be, like, you know, fucking the most impressive thing ever designed by man. But when it's hard to find stuff that matters even the slightest, you enter into a thing where you just force your player to focus on, like, the main thing and never leave the path, because if they leave the path, they're looking at, like, a 10-hour adventure that leads to literally nothing, and it's just like, okay. And that 10-hour adventure is wandering across a barren wasteland, occasionally killing an alien if you happen to get lucky and find a planet with life on it. It's so fucking, it's so nothing. It's like,
I gotta be honest, I prefer the way this galaxy's set up compared to, like, No Man's Sky, where it's just like you find the same shit on every planet. I prefer the very low percentage of life on planets and more barren stuff.
That's convenient. Yeah, I mean, I never played No Man's Sky, but I don't think I would like it. And I think the things about this game I don't like are very heavily borrowed from No Man's Sky.
They are.
Like,
the issue with No Man's Sky though is like you land on planet A, survey it, land on planet B, and find like half the same shit. So you survey it, and you go to planet C. This is back when it launched, by the way. It's
yeah.
From what I know now, it's really good. But back when it first came out, it was way worse than this, where it's like every other planet just had the same fucking aliens, just like a different color.
I will say that that is exactly how I would describe Starfield, except you're lucky if you find aliens on the planet at all. Like,
No.
every planet in Starfield feels like the same planet. If you get lucky, you'll have trees. And otherwise, it's the same shit. Like, the resources are all randomized, so, like, good on them for having, like, you know, good on them for taking the extra 10 minutes to randomize what resources are where. But beyond that, it's the same planet over and over and over again. And if you're lucky, you get animals. Which at least, you know, at that point, at least No Man's Sky had the decency to put fucking animals on most of the planets. Or, like, whatever. It's like your sentiment of, like, it's just a different color, and it's the same thing, and it's really, like, that's just kind of, like, shit. It's like, that is how I feel about Starfield. Like, literally verbatim.
I'm saying I feel the galaxy in Starfield feels more believable than No Man's Sky is what I
true.
like.
Like, 100%. Like, that's fine.
what I like.
At the same time, a believable galaxy of, like, yeah, most of the planets, and I'm going to take this, like, this might not be what you mean, but I would look at it and go, well, not every planet's going to be, like, lush and overgrown and super compelling and interesting and, like, full of life and all this other random shit. Like, most of the planets are just fucking nothing.
Yeah, it's only 10% of planets have life on it.
Yeah, like, in reality, it's probably a really good exploration of, like, this would be what it would like if you went out there and just kind of planet hopped and, like, looked around. It's like, ooh, it's a super hot wasteland of nothing, and this one's got, like, a super cold wasteland of nothing, and it's like, this is pseudo-accurate to the way that space exploration would be.
Which is what I like.
It's a Bethesda RPG that takes place on a pseudo-accurate representation of what space exploration would be like. So you end up trying desperately to find the Bethesda RPG elements scattered between tens of planets that are not worth looking at. And it's like, okay. Bonfire is just broken.
Yeah, this one is definitely broken. There's stuff in here we can still get.
There's a boss here.
There's a boss here?
There's an if you come over here, I can run into an object.
Yeah, it's not losing health though.
It's losing health on my end.
Well, it's losing health, but it was getting it back.
No, it's staying low HP. We've done 3,200 damage to it?
Yeah, let's keep that. It's a Grace Mimic.
It hit 0, and now we're not doing anything to it.
I see that.
It's just...
Oh. The fuck did the buff come from? Or did it bleed?
Yeah, I have Lord
I have
of
bleed
Blood's-
on the fucking whip too.
I have Lord of Blood's Exaltation on, so it's buffing us.
Huh, okay.
Well, that bonfire... I mean, we have the loot from that.
Yeah, there's still a couple things in the manor we can go get if you want to.
Yeah, we should go talk to, I am Pedia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if someone wants, and this is gonna sound shitty because it's the reality of it. If someone wants a loading screen simulator where you don't actually do any kind of real space travel, you just kind of click a location and hit another button and hit another button and hit another button and then you teleport there. And then you can hit another button to land and then watch a cutscene and then get out and wander around a deserted planet that has 3 resources on it that you're never going to need anything for. But you can do that, and then you want to do that like 700 times, you'll fucking love Starfield. And if you want anything else from it, you're going to be disappointed.
It's unfortunate because you'll never make everybody happy, and there's no good way to make this game to make everybody happy. So
I genuinely don't understand how you... I don't know how to ask this question.
go ahead, just ask as blunt as you want.
I don't
Are
understand.
you retarded? Say that.
No, I don't understand how you are looking for and enjoying a game where you have you open the map, and there's a bunch of dots, and you click a dot you haven't clicked on before, and that takes you to a location where there's like 5 more dots. And you're like, cool, 5 more dots that I haven't been on yet. And you click on it, and you loading screen, and you're like, cool, a gray world full of rocks. I'm gonna wander around and do the same 3 things I've just done again. And then you do that 700 fucking times.
Because it's a video game. It's the same as any video game.
That's so surface level excuse for, oh, it's a video game, and you just do that everywhere. That is like literally the most bare bones fucking experience for like anything I've like actually seen in the last long time, which is why it surprised me so much. I was like, damn, this could be it, because you could have what you want, which is just a bunch of plants to wander around and explore, but there could be fucking anything going on. Like it doesn't have to be nothing all the time everywhere.
Oh, I know.
Like it could, like, you don't need every planet to be a giant, like, oh, there's an unfound ancient city here, and there's this other thing, and there's bases being built despite the harsh environments, and like occasionally, like, a lot of the planets are just barren, but they have like deep chasms that you can go into and find a bunch of like rocks that got cooked in this really dense fucking galaxy section, and like you can make a game that is accurate to like 10% of planets have life and are explorable, quote unquote, and like have these things that isn't just a fucking Minecraft super flat world with an occasional resource and a different color scheme, because that is like the fucking bare minimum, my guy. It's like it's the barest of bare minimum.
I mean, yeah, it is, but it's also enough to give me what I want. It's a fun. I find the game fun. I like the whole aspect of bounty hunting, of doing missions for the Trackers Alliance, like as like an RP set aside. Like my favorite thing, I'll spend 5 hours making ships, dude. That is my favorite thing in the game, is making ships and like flying them. So like building custom ships, messing with all the habs from all the manufacturers, like doing that will take like 5 hours of my day easy. Like I will easily sit down and just spend 5 hours straight just building ships. And then like I enjoy just the vast exploring, just the landing on the planets, looking what it has, you know, the initial like, yeah, every other fucking moon's gonna be the same experience of, yep, I've landed on a barren moon. I've now walked around, you know, 1,000 kilometers, and it's like nothing's really different from the other moons, but I still enjoy the initial landing on different places and exploring it. I find that fun personally. Like,
I still have fun with that. Like I still like looking at a planet and going, I haven't been here yet. Time to land and see what I get. Like,
yeah, and that's what I enjoy. So it's like you have 1,000 fucking planets to do that with.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be barren and it's gonna have a lot of downtime, but like, I don't know, because that's what I wanted from No Man's Sky originally, was stuff like that. But like that game also was shallow on launch in terms of it didn't have anything to offer. It didn't have a variety of things. Like, there were no NPCs. There was no going back to other planets. It was just you go in a line from A to Z, and once you got to Z, you were done. You know, it wasn't a very engaging system.
To the Sword and Flame.
Yeah, no, I see that. So, you know, like, when this came out and I started playing it, it's like, I get a lot of the shipbuilding stuff, which I really enjoy. I find that fun. It's very bare bones for a Bethesda RPG. I'm not going to disagree with that, because the companions suck.
But see, that's what I don't... That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I would be okay. I'd be less annoyed with the nothingness that's everywhere if it wasn't bare bones for a Bethesda. Like, the minimum they could have done was... I like their RPGs. I'm not going to say that they're good, because that's subjective. But, like, I like what they do with their RPGs and, like, how they're kind of paced and how they're kind of designed. I enjoy it. I like the storytelling. I like the writing. I like the characters. I like the exploration and the way that they, like, make a world. Like, I really like Skyrim. And, like, I loved Oblivion. Like, those are all really good. They have a very good style about, like, what it is. And you're playing a Bethesda game. You're playing a Bethesda RPG. They have a formula. and you should be able to somewhat expect that. And then Starfield's like not.
I don't know. The way I've played Starfield and the way that I've seen everything in it, it feels like Fallout 4 with more content in a way.
That is crazy because I would describe it as like basically an alpha build of Fallout 4 with almost nothing in it. Like, you can see like the flavors and like what will eventually be like a decent RPG, but it's just kind of like it needs like many more years of effort put into it to get to that level.
I think Fallout 4 is horrible, so...
And I liked it, so...
It was a very shoehorned story. The fucking choices sucked. None of the factions really mattered.
But see, that's exactly what I would say about Starfield.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing again. It's just on a bigger scale.
And, like, probably because Fallout 4 is, like, the first Fallout game I've really played, so, like, to me, it's, like, the only experience I have with it, so it's going to be good because I have nothing to compare it to. Which I'm totally down with that being, like, the reason why I liked it. Because it's like, wow, if you played the other ones, you'd really like these ones and be like, oh yeah, Fallout 4.
Go play New Vegas.
Well, they didn't make New Vegas!
Or go play 3. 3 was way better than 4.
I've tried to play 3 so many times. I'm fucking rotting this thing. It's never gonna die. I've tried to play 3 so many times, and I can't. But yeah, like,
Why is that?
I get bored with it really quickly. It's too old for me. Like, it's too rough. That's interesting. Maybe when the Fallout 3 remake that got leaked comes out in like 2 years, I'll play it.
Imagine spending a decade trying to remake Oblivion in Skyrim's engine for them to be like, hey, by the way.
You saw the leak, didn't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, I saw it.
I was like, finally, I can play Fallout 3. I was actually genuinely super excited to see that was on that list, because I was like, damn, I've been waiting for a Fallout 3 remake or like remaster forever. That's like, I figured that'd be like the only way I ended up ever playing it. But now that I'm super comfy modding games, I probably just mod Fallout 3.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like that. It's interesting because I'm genuinely disappointed in knowing what Bethesda can do. Oh god, knowing what Bethesda can do, and being like, I don't feel like it's too much to expect at a bare minimum, just like more of that. Cause like,
look, can I be completely straightforward with you? They haven't made a good game since Oblivion, in my opinion. So I really don't fucking care.
Yeah, like if we're gonna be like,
if we're gonna get down to brass tacks, like
if we're dialing it back from game, like, yeah, Starfield sucks, but so did Fallout 4, and so kind of it's like I liked Skyrim, but it wasn't. I didn't give as much of a fuck about Skyrim as I did. I mean, that's hard. I think Skyrim was good, but I really liked Oblivion.
I look at Skyrim and then I compare it to the factions to Oblivion. And I'm like, oh yeah, this game's fucking dog shit. Never mind.
So okay, I'm just gonna say that Starfield's like it's
a Bethesda RPG.
It's a Bethesda RPG, but you take it, you do less with every system, make everything really cumbersome to invest in, have it take forever to get anywhere with those systems, which makes them effectively useless. And then most of them are effectively useless. But you take your tiny pool of content and you blow it out across 700 planets, so you almost never find the parts of it that are charming. And yeah, if you like walking across a Minecraft super flat world 30 to 700 times with slightly different sky colors, you'll love it. And that does have a charm to it. It is enjoyable landing on a new planet and being like, okay, cool, let's see what I get. And then being like, okay, I get what this planet's about. And then, like, if you want to leave, you can just fucking leave. You don't have to stay there. You're not forced. But, like, looking for the things that are, like, Bethesda in the Bethesda RPG is really hard. And we haven't even really talked about, because I don't really fucking care to, like, get into it, because it's annoying.
Well, I come to the graveyard. I could use some help.
On my way. But, like, even the systems that are, like, Bethesda, and that they should be able to just kind of, like, do well, because they've done it well many times, even those systems that are, like, fine before, are shit in this game. Like, the companions suck. And the, like, the dialogue all kind of sucks. And, like, the persuasion system is fucking awful. And the...
You know, it's funny you say that, because, like, they tried so hard to redo what Oblivion did, and it's like, no.
Well, yeah, I mean, they really did. And it's like, it becomes this really disconnected, awkward thing where, like, you'll be talking to someone, and they're like, I hate what you just said to me. And then you're like, but what if you did? And they're like, oh, good old buddy pal of mine, sure, have this key. It's like, what? What? I'm like, I remember that being in Oblivion. Where, like,
so the thing about Oblivion was certain NPCs reacted to different versions of those dialogue choices. It's completely different, because in Oblivion it was like you had a good, a mean, a sarcastic, and whatever. You had like 4 different dialogue choices, right?
Yeah.
And basically every NPC had a different set of like which ones they preferred interacting with.
We never
so you would
talked
just
to sell this.
Hey, we didn't. You would essentially just spin that wheel till you would land on their favorite dialogue choice with the biggest bonus, and you'd click it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that mattered. Persuasion in this game is literally just click on it and hope you fucking succeed.
And if I'm not mistaken, if you succeed on something, isn't like the initial like tutorial, like if you succeed, your next one auto succeeds?
You get an option for auto succeed, so there's like... well, maybe. I don't remember the tutorial for it.
Yeah, because when I first started doing it, I guess I just didn't read that part, but when I was watching someone go through it, I think it literally says, like, if you succeed, your next thing, whatever your next thing is, will also do it. But whatever the case is, it feels like there have been
it's just like any other persuasion thing. It's just like
it's
a chance.
But, like, at the same time, I remember how Oblivion was. I remember how Skyrim was all 17 times I played it. All 17 versions, rather.
I mean, Fallout literally just gave you a percentage.
Yeah,
like,
and I remember, like, Fallout's dialogue. But, like, this dialogue feels so awkward.
That's not a greatly written game.
No,
I will disagree. There's a couple things in the game that are written really well.
Yes. Yes, that is 100% the case.
There is a lot of main story, I think, is written very well. The UC faction is very well done.
There's a but that's the thing I was saying earlier, though. It's like pretty much if you deviate from the like 99 percentile, like your player base is never gonna leave like the main story. They might do a faction. And like they might end up romancing one of the main NPCs because they're the 4 people that you meet on your journey and nothing outside of that. Like, they only put, I don't even want to say effort for a lot of this because the companions are still pretty kind of but because you can't like have them hack stuff or pick things up, or you can't order them to do things. They just kind of hang out, which was immediately something I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, they're just an extra bag. Oh,
that's how they've always been, unless I'm misremembering how NPCs work.
So companions in Fallout, I'm pretty sure Fallout 4, but I know in Skyrim, you could order them to do stuff. You could click on them and hold the interact button on them, and it would give you like that that pulsing crosshair, and then you could click on something in the world, like a door or like an item, and they'd be like, I'll get it. And then they go and they do it.
Yeah, I never interacted with that shit. So.
That was such... I mean, it doesn't have a ton of uses, but it was like, you could talk to them. And I remember, especially in Skyrim, NPCs that you were with, your companions, would comment on locations that you went to. Like, you'd go and do a thing, and like, you'd get done with a fight, and they'd be like, glad to be done.
Sarah made plenty of comments and... areas I went to,
and I will tell you why, because I like Sarah, and I felt like having her would be important because she's kind of like one of like the... Before I knew how the NPCs all kind of were, I assumed that there would be a lot of companions that would have like commentary, kind of like the previous games, but I wanted one that felt kind of main story relevant because I figured she, as part of Constellation and like part of the situation I'm in, would have the more relevant comments about like what we're doing. The only NPCs that really comment on anything are the main four that you can romance.
Uh-huh.
And it's
Oh, I
like,
know.
I found other NPCs that I wanted to hang out with, and they do nothing. They don't say anything. They don't really. They all have like the same three different like hello and goodbye dialogues. None of them have a personality at all. It's just the main four, which is like okay, but how did we downgrade from the previous games with companions? How did we downgrade from the previous games with like the interesting side quests? Like
I mean, in a way to mainstream it and make it more accessible for everyone, it's been doing that.
which is like that's just super disappointing to me. That it's like it's a new Bethesda game that has been 25 years in the making or whatever, and like all this time and effort to like, be a new Bethesda RPG, and it's just kind of shit because it is like a super dumbed down, incredibly dumbed down, mainstreamified version of like their previous iterations, but put in space and then blown out. I don't know how much more time it would have taken for them to like do their classic polish in quotes, and then
Kind of. If I could have asked them to redo it, I wish they would have done like 10 systems with like a couple planets of life on it, but like make everything like unique.
yeah, I would have wanted like this is impossible. What I'm about to say is I mean it's not, but it's impossible. Okay. Mainly because of the game install would have been impossible. Because the way that they do planets is like it has like a bunch of stats and those generate seeds when you land.
Yep.
And so like you could land in a line and you're probably going to see like a new random spot that is not cohesive with where
you'll never see the same like mountain range basically.
Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah. It's like that's fine. And it like the existing POIs on planets have like a set landing spot with like a set thing to do, and that's fine. And those are like dedicated locations that have been designed that way. But those POIs are like 1 of 5. And that's kind of shit. If those were unique it'd be better. But yeah, because of the way that they just randomize off of like a seed base it has to be, because if you didn't do that, the game would be literally fucking impossible to install.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
But what I would want is every planet should be, and not, I don't want to say literally entirely unique because life only has a limited amount of like forms it can take. Like a tree is a fucking tree. A planet can be unique because the tree is like slightly smaller or slightly bigger or a different color. You can do that, and that's totally fine. But I want unique. Like, I don't think every planet should be its own Skyrim, because that would be fucking ridiculous. But you can get close.
Yeah.
And because you don't need to have every planet be a self-contained like series of side quests and plots and factions and stuff. You can have macro scale factions like the fleet and the UC and Constellation and whatever else. Like you can have factions that kind of like exist in this like galaxy, or in this universe rather. You can have those factions exist because they're starfaring. Like they can own multiple planets. So you can have like a chain of planets in a system that are completely controlled by like a faction, and they all kind of have the similar architecture. That's how you get away with doing that though. That's what you do. You don't have a random like science tower that's just a science tower, and it's like, okay, we're gonna put this base here scattered across a bunch of different planets. It's the same base with the same shit in it, same architecture, same everything, but the enemies we populate it with are sometimes different for no reason. It's like, that sucks, it's lazy, and it's bare bones, and I hate that. What you could have done is design swaths of systems to be faction oriented, or designed to be like set off, because there are a lot of stars, right? There's like a lot of those to go to that all have planets. If you don't end up making every planet and moon unique, because that would be stupid, you make certain sections of stars unique. So you have the like, turn the star map into the way that Skyrim's political map would have looked, or Oblivion's or whatever. Have like the section over here at the top, have that be like this faction has a base there, so like the nearby stars are run by that, and then they kind of like splinter out, and you'll find them occasionally in other places, but they're mostly there, and they're kind of like doing stuff. And if you want to help them, you end up going to other people's like sections and like fucking with it, and then have that be how the whole thing works, and have like there be like unexplored stars and all this other shit. But don't have it just be that everything is meaningless, and occasionally you'll find a side quest. It needs to actually be a living, breathing ebb and flow of a world that you can influence. Like, if you help one of those factions, you take over other star systems. And, like, now you have, like, an Ecliptic base full of fucking Crimson Fleet because you help the fleet take over Ecliptic. That is how you would do that. And you can still have your planets that are kind of, like, dead and random and whatever because they're unexplored or they're just uninhabitable or they're uninteresting. But you would need sections of the map or whatever to be actually like interesting.
Yeah.
And it's like
there is a very more bare version of that, but yeah. No, I agree.
But it's like that's what I would like at minimum, that's what I'm expecting from Bethesda RPG is do what you've done before in Oblivion and Fallout and whatever. Do what you've done, but put that in space and then adjust it to be like there's more things to do. I'm okay with there being a bunch of random planets that are kind of nothing, because that's the way space works. But when it's a bunch of random nothing that is location, when you have 3 different pre-built like POIs that are actually explorable and full of enemies, and like 8 that are just kind of like, hi, we're just wandering around, or we're shipbuilders, and they exist to fill a spot on the map, but they're not interesting. Most of the caves don't have anything in them. They might have like a loot pile at the end, but they're just kind of there to exist. It's like there's so much shit that feels like it's there to put something on the planet to trick you into thinking that there is shit there, and there's nothing there when you go there. It's like,
oh, for sure.
I like the game. I do. I'm becoming more refined in what I have issues with as I play it because I'm seeing the same things a lot. But I'm still, if I wasn't having a good time with it, I wouldn't play it. Like, I still really like some of the stuff. I'm interested in, like, building a ship. I have an idea that I want to build, but I haven't, and I've kind of done some shipbuilding, but it's like, a lot of the systems are, like, massive cliffs of, like, trying to, like, get into them and figure out how they work, because it's kind of...
Yep.
Cumbersome. Like, every single system is kind of like, this is going to take me 3 hours just to look at and figure out how it works. Which is okay. And, like, there have definitely been, like, charming moments, but it's, as a Bethesda RPG set blown out across a bunch of star planets, like stars and planets, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
no, I can get
it's
that.
just more, it's more of what they've done, except all of those systems, instead of being at the same quality or better, they've been reduced down to being like the most basic and kind of uninteresting versions of themselves. And that's just unfortunate, because they have so much potential to make a game that's really fucking cool. And if it had just been like Fallout and Skyrim, but in space, and like done moderately well, it would have been so fucking good. And unfortunately, this is what we got. Which isn't a terrible game, but it's definitely disappointing for what it could have been. And I'm
looks at every game after Oblivion. Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, and I'm mostly disappointed in the systems that are like, you've done this before and you've done it well. How did you fuck up and how did you make it worse? Like, how did you get lazier with your design? And I can only imagine it's because it's so much wider that the puddle has to be very shallow. And it's like, just focusing on the companion system, I think, is emblematic of the rest of the game's issues, where instead of having like 20 or 30 like interesting companions that are unique,
that's the other thing I'm going to mention real quick is, have you seen the same basically child model for the same, like, for 3 different characters?
That's what I was saying about like the NPC, like the adult woman that I've seen like 6 times already. Is like,
yeah, Cora and all the other children, yeah, and then all the female children all look the same.
That's my issue with it, though. Is like, I found her as an adult because she's at the bar in New Atlantis. That lady that gives you like the help me make a new drink quest.
Oh yeah,
that barkeep. I've seen her 2 more times in quests that I've done. Same person, same voice, same everything. And I'm like, Bethesda, like. That's what I have an issue with, is like, just looking at the way companions are done, it tells you how the rest of the game is designed, and it's like, this kind of sucks. because you have 20 or 24 companions. I can't remember. I think it might be 20. But only 4 of them actually do anything or matter. Because it's the only 4 that like actually have anything going on. And even those aren't unique in of themselves. They might have like different dialogue, but they're not like... And yeah, they have like... God, it's hard to say this because I'm technically wrong. Because I want to say they don't have like unique skills and they're not special anything different. But like they are only on paper and it doesn't matter and it's weird. But...
That's a lie because that changes everything in your crew for your ship.
Which I haven't noticed yet.
You know, if you're using Sarah, you're able to jump to further stars of a lower grav drive.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of it that's just kind of like scattered. That's like weird. Which is fine. Oh god, that bat almost fucking killed me. Help! I guess it's less about that and more to me about like they don't feel.
Oh no, there's the thing you're having issues with is the same issues I had with Fallout 4's companions.
Which is interesting because I thought Fallout 4's companions were really well done compared to like I don't know. I want to say Skyrim, but I liked Skyrim's companions. Maybe I just need to go play the older games and be like, oh yeah, these new ones are shit.
Yeah, please.
I need to refine my my opinion by going back and
you can play the better games.
Yeah. I'm like, man, this author's like 3rd series of books are kind of shit. But you know, the 2nd series was really good, and you're just like, please God, go read the 1st one. Like, please.
Pretty much.
Please, Christ. Maybe I will. Maybe I will go play. Oh.
This is a fucking nightmare.
Just gonna put this down.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Convenient.
I'm playing this has just had me tempted to go back and play the older games because they were better.
Okay, I'm getting grabbed. It really depends on what you want out of the game, because if I want like a better RPG experience, I'm gonna go back to all the way to Oblivion and like New Vegas and shit like that.
I want what I felt with. Oh my god! It's. I don't think it's difficult to explain, but it's like I just want more. Like, I want more of what I liked from like Oblivion and Skyrim and Fallout. Like I liked those games. Like there was a lot to do. They were interesting. The characters were fun. The quests were fun. The locations were fun. Like I liked going around and exploring. I played Skyrim so fucking much. Like I spent a lot of time in those games because I liked them and they were, to me, they were good. Like they were, I want to say densely packed with shit to do, because you could go somewhere and wander into a new thing to do. And while it might not be like super interesting, it was like at least there were at least there was shit to kill in the cave. At least there was stuff to fight in the bandit camp. Like there was stuff to do places. And like this feels very bare bones because all of the interesting stuff is so scattered that like you're never gonna find any of it.
I don't know if you remember my take on Skyrim when it first came out at this point. Because like a lot of the things that you complain about, it's not like Starfield's done a more egregious job than Skyrim did, but like there was a lot of things I complained about when Skyrim came out for the same reasons.
Yeah. I guess I just didn't have issues with it because I just was okay with it. Which is why what you're feeling about this, where you're like, I just am happy with the planets and the shipbuilding, and I'm like, bro, but the
problem
RPG
is we're at the fucking 4th game now where it's been like this, so it's like, yeah, this is what I expect now. Just the aesthetic and the things the game offers is more of what I want versus what Fallout 4 had. I guess, for example,
the thing that I keep coming back to mentally is that like it doesn't even do the same thing. It does less. Like it's doing it. The games are progressively doing less while presenting themselves like it's like this, you know, it's the new game. So like you should, like, at bare minimum it should be doing the same amount, but it's not. It's doing less.
It never has. It's always been less.
I don't feel like Fallout 4 did less than Skyrim. I just felt like it was Skyrim but with guns.
No,
I genuinely don't feel
disagree.
like Fallout 4 was worse than Skyrim. It was a different experience, but it wasn't worse.
Hard disagree.
Okay, then...
Between the story and the characters and the writing.
I don't think I ever had issues with Fallout 4. Like,
You didn't like being forced to be a parent and then the voiced protagonist?
yeah,
Didn't have any issues with either of those?
I mean, yeah, I didn't like that. I don't know.
Because that was another big issue of mine with that game. It was like, I can't actually role play this the way I want because the game literally doesn't let you.
Yeah, you're playing a character. You're not playing your character.
Correct. So that was the other downgrade from Skyrim.
And also, like, the previous Fallout games, I think, because you are someone in...
Well, in Fallout 3, you're just your character, but you grew up in Vault 101.
Yeah, but in New Vegas, you're actually like a pre-established character, right?
You're a courier that got shot in the head.
Okay.
And that's it.
I thought you were like actually like named, but
No.
okay, that makes
Nope.
sense.
You're just a courier, and you got caught on the bad end of a deal.
I guess I look at Starfield and or I guess I look at the other games and I don't notice the issues that, like, because until we get to Starfield, I don't notice that they're doing less with every game, because I didn't consider Fallout 4 to be less than Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, to me. So
I really wish I could have your view on that.
because to me, it's just like, okay, it's, you know, but it's another Bethesda game. It's an RPG. It's set in the Fallout universe. There's factions and there's places to go and things to do and people to talk to and everything's kind of fun.
Oh my god.
I didn't like the main story, but like the rest of it was fine. And I felt like it was fine.
The Minutemen.
To be fair, I need to retract this. To be fair, Skyrim's main story was whatever. Like, most of the content in that game was good. The main story was kind of like, whatever. It's fine. Which is kind of how I felt about Fallout. It's like, it's not for me, but whatever. The rest of the game was fun.
I don't know. Thieves Guild was annoying because of how it worked. Dark Brotherhood was mediocre.
What, you didn't like?
What are the other factions in that?
You didn't like Astrid being turned into fucking beef jerky?
I just didn't like how they did the Dark Brotherhood versus like Oblivion.
You know what's interesting?
What's that?
Ignoring the way Starfield is with this, and just talking about like the Elder Scrolls games. I didn't do a lot in Oblivion.
No.
Because like I don't think I've ever done the guilds.
It's like the best fucking part of Oblivion.
This was back when I
remember.
I didn't, but also I never found them. Like you can find the Dark Brotherhood because they find you, right?
I was gonna say they find you.
Yeah, I found that. I don't remember much of it.
You probably just killed LeChance.
I didn't. Because in the Dark Brotherhood and Oblivion, you become speaker? What do you become? You become something.
You become the speaker at the end.
Yeah, because I thought it was the opposite in Skyrim. Because in Skyrim you become the speaker.
Or the listener, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, in Oblivion you become the listener, and in Skyrim you're the speaker. I think it's the other way around. It doesn't matter. You're not the same thing in both. You're a different one of those two. I don't remember doing that. I don't remember, like, is it Dark Brotherhood where you meet like LeChance's ghost or something?
You can,
like, you get it, like you can summon.
Oh,
LeChance?
you're talking about in Skyrim, right?
Is it? It's also in Oblivion, is it not?
No, it's you can get him as a special form, as a special summon in Skyrim.
I thought that same concept is also in.
No, he's just the main fucking listener, speaker, whatever the fuck the hell is. He's the main.
He's a character from
recruiter.
Oblivion that you can summon in Skyrim.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm getting confused about.
He was the main character of the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion.
Yeah, I don't remember doing fucking any of that shit. Like, I know that the Grey Fox exists. I have nothing to do with the Thieves Guild, though. Like, I don't know anything about it. I couldn't even tell you what the other factions were, if there are other factions.
There's the Arena, there's the Mages Guild, there's the Fighters Guild.
I didn't. God, is the Fighters Guild the one that's up on the hill in the snow? No, that's the Blades. Oh fuck.
That if you're talking about going to Bruma
Yeah.
and going to
Yeah.
the that's the Blades.
Yeah. I don't. We've done the arena because that was a thing. I don't know the other stuff. The Mages Guild is really vague for Oblivion too. I've done very little of like the other stuff in Oblivion.
Like, you want to talk about content? Like, go do everything in Oblivion and then realize, oh yeah, Skyrim sucked.
I mean, I look at it and go, I mean, from the little, this should be a giant fucking warning sign about how shit Starfield is, because in the little tiny bits of content I've done in Oblivion over my time playing it, it still has more content than Starfield.
Yes,
And it's
yes,
like,
it does.
And I didn't even, oh my god, I didn't even play a lot of Oblivion. Like, I played a lot of like the main stuff, and I did like a lot of side stuff, but I didn't do like, I guess Starfield is my moment to have your moment that you had like 2 games ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, this sucks. And you're like, I'm used to this by now. And like, first time?
Yeah, it's the first time meme.
I'm like, bro, this game sucks. Everything's super shallow and there's nothing going on. All the characters, just like the dialogue's weird and the companions are like, uh-huh.
First time, huh?
Man, all right. I mean, I like...
No, that's kind of why, like, when you were coming off hard on it, I'm like, this is just what I expected. And it's like, it's good enough. Like...
Man...
Yeah, that's where I'm sitting on Starfield, is it does exactly what I expected them to do, and I'm having fun with it.
Kick sand. Man! I guess irrelevant to this conversation, or like regardless of what we're saying, I still don't get how you could have fun just being like, time to slot machine a planet. Oh, it's green this time. Time to walk around the rocks for 20 minutes. Like, I don't get how that's fun.
I don't know. Do you do anything that's boring and monotonous to other people?
This
is a really tall elevator.
There's a hammer down here, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do I do this anything that's boring and monotonous to other people, but like I enjoy it? I talk a lot.
I mean, that's just the concept, though. It's like something that's boring to you could be somebody else's, thing that makes the game fun for them. So it's like,
yeah, and then we get into the thing where it's like I look at it and go, that person's stupid. Because they're enjoying wandering around a pseudo flat planet with a different color scheme. Wow. Time to fucking find one of 2 different bandit outposts for the 900th time.
Yeah, like I can tell you got closer to your mic.
Huh?
It's very apparent when you get closer to your mic. And it's very funny.
I like that I can do a dynamic thing with my... Oh my god. But what's weird is I wasn't actually that much closer. I actually leaned away to take a drink and then I got back to being closer.
Oh, yeah, because you sound a lot louder now.
Should be the fucking same.
Weird.
OBS is blowing me out when I get to like hear it. It's like...
It's kind of where you've been for the last minute or two.
Yeah, I've been opinionated.
No. Don't believe it.
I guess the way that Starfield goes about being a lesser game is like the way that it's doing it is what's actually bothering me. Because obviously I'm fine with games having less content because I liked Skyrim.
Right.
But like, I guess Starfield is like egregious with how much less it's doing comparatively. Shrug. Taps microphone. Game bad.
Yet you're still playing it.
Yeah, I the last couple days I've just been kind of like doing it because I was like, the rest of the game fucking sucks, but I'm just gonna do the main story and see if I like that. So that's when I pivoted back to like doing main story, and then I got really fucking bored just generally, so I just stopped playing. The first few days I was waking up and I was having that like I'm excited to play and I can't like sleep very well because I'm like I want to see what else there's going on. I was giddy. I had that like Final Fantasy hyperfixation a little bit where I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what else is going on, and then that shit fucking tanked.
So if you want a good game to play, go play Baldur's Gate.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I keep seeing more shit about it and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go play Baldur's Gate.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
I have I downloaded Lies of P yesterday. I might go play that.
Like the demo, or did you buy it?
It's on Game Pass.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Me buying video games in current year? Absolutely not.
That's why I was like, is there a demo?
Nope. Nope.
I didn't realize it went straight to Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass.
It's that Victorian style that I don't like, so I probably won't care to play it.
You like
Yeah, your fucking thought process on how the game, like, of what it was super funny to read.
What? What do you mean?
Thinking it was like thinking it was the Life of Pi, and then like, oh, I thought that was a game, but it's actually a movie. Like, just that whole thought process. Like, I see how it happened, but it was just super funny to like read.
I don't know how that shit happens, but like, I'm also not gonna be like not tell you the thought process because it's stupid and kind of embarrassing to be like I was dumb and thought it was this, but like like genuinely. I was like, Lies of P, that has to be the sequel to, like, whatever that game was. Which I'm now realizing was probably, like Life is Strange or something. But I kept thinking that Life of Pi was a, like, story-heavy, bunch of, like, dialogue, Telltale-esque kind of, like, whatever one of those kind of stories is, which is what Life is Strange was. There's another game that does that, too, that I also think is kind of meh. But I was like, oh, it's a sequel to that. I'm never going to give a fuck. And then I kept seeing people be like, yeah, Lies of P is really good. And I'm like, the people that are saying this are not people that would play a, like, coming-of-age Telltale story. And then I saw, when I was going to watch some VODs for Starfield, I saw this really fucking cool Soulslike. And I'm like, this looks like Remnant? But I couldn't really tell what it was. I'm like, this isn't Mortal Shell. What the fuck is this? And so I was like, what fucking new game, what new cookie cutter fucking new Neo Souls-like is out that looks like Remnant and has that like gross new fucking Unreal Engine paint on it? Because like the it looked cool, aside from like I hate the way that the graphics and the aesthetic are, but I was like, this looks cool. And it's like, oh, this is Lies of P. I'm like, if fucking what, mate? I'm so fucking confused.
Yeah, it was like super. It got like a lot of traction like 2 months ago when all the Soul streamers were playing it.
If you had asked me, I would have told you it came out a week ago. That's how long it took.
Well, it just came out, but okay. I mean, like the demo was a couple of months ago, and like all the people we watched played it.
I see. Yeah, I guess I just didn't give a fuck because I had assumed it was just kind of like a story focused. It kind of looked because it I don't even know how to explain this. It comes off like Dishonored. Like from the outside looking in at like the visuals of like the box art, which isn't box art anymore. But it has like a Dishonored vibe to it, which I was like, I don't care. And then
man, that's such a good game though.
I did not like Dishonored. I don't care. It has a weirdness to it that I just didn't enjoy. But I was like, this looks like Dishonored. Don't give a shit. And then it was something else where it was like, this also looks like it's a story heavy like Telltale-esque game. Also don't give a shit. And apparently it's just another
Souls.
It's got that gross, everything super soft Demon's Souls remake look to it. Ugly. So yeah, it's interesting because when I was first playing Starfield, I was talking to a friend of ours, and I was like, he's like, yeah, I don't really like Bethesda games. They're kind of, jank and they're not interesting and whatever. And I'm just like, that's fair. He's like, it would be hard to get immersed in it, and like it just kind of seems like kind of whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. I'm like, I'm having a great time with it. and you know was kind of like the so far like the NPC. There's two. Huh? Humga? Who is this?
Hey. Blackguard. It's Bullgoat guy and Blackguard.
I've never seen the Blackguard here.
It's the fucking prawn guy.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Oh. Interesting.
I've never
Fair enough.
done... Yeah. Every randomizer I see puts Fire Giant in here. That's not Fire Giant.
No.
Good.
Hello, tutorial boss.
Yeah, but like my opinion of that, like we talked about it like the week I was playing it, and then like a week or two went by, and I gained like 60 or 70 more hours in the game, probably like probably 30 or so. But like I played it more, and then he's like, "So how's Starfield been? It's still fun?" And I'm like, actually," and then I gave him like a really condensed version of what I told to you just now. I'm like, everything sucks, every system is shallow, it's fucking boring, it's so samey, it's like cookie cutter, repeat, garbage, nonsense. He's like, that's unfortunate. I'm like, yeah, it is. So initially, really like Starfield. Now,
Me, take sip of wine. Yeah, this is what I expected. You? Oh god, what is this?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. But it has made me really want to play Baldur's Gate.
It's a very fun game.
Even though every time I see Baldur's Gate anything, I'm like, I would not enjoy this.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just seems like I wouldn't enjoy the actual game. I like the idea of Baldur's Gate.
Oh, it's got a very good story and very well written characters.
Yeah, but I have to pay for it.
You know what? Fair.
That's why I haven't played it yet. I'm like, if this was on Game Pass, I would have played it. If this was on sale, I would have played it.
If I were to ever recommend a game for you to buy, it'd be that game.
That's a substantial I don't want to say recommendation, but that's like a substantial thing to say.
It is though, like realistically speaking, like I don't normally would go like, yeah, you should buy that game. Like if you want a good single player game, I would buy that 100%. But I mean, like I said, it's hard to judge how you would feel about it because like there are certain games I would compare it to, but you never really played them. So
Right, I had other weapons.
I'm still using these whips. They're interesting.
I have a headache from like focusing and talking so much.
Fair. So Starfield, have you been playing Remastered at all? Have you gotten a chance to sit down and play it?
Wait, what?
Dark Souls Remastered.
Oh, yeah, we've been playing
Have
it
you
a
had
bit.
time to do co-op? That's cool.
A little bit. We because the last time we talked about it, we were at Honor Orlando, but we hadn't done anything really.
You guys went into ONS and immediately died, right? Like, is that
No,
what happened?
No,
Or...
we
no.
hadn't even gotten to that point in the game yet.
Okay.
No, we
So
immediately
how was ONS?
we immediately died on the tower spinny thing because we kept getting invaded by like giant people.
Yep, I remember that. I remember you telling me you were getting griefed by invaders.
So
Did you wind up doing the offline thing?
yeah, like I told you, I found a mod that's actually like super fucking good. That I've
So
been.
you guys got that working, I assume?
Yeah, it was
Cool.
it was pretty much install it and we're good here. So it has some quirks.
I imagine.
Because it invents it, like kind of adds in it adds in like the invasion fog walls, kind of. So like
Gotcha.
you can't, obviously you can't go from like the beginning of On Orlando down the first elevator and then to the bridge because there's that wall there before the gargoyle.
Yep.
So like we have to keep in mind like where those like extra fog walls are. But aside from that, it's very easy just to leave and come back because it does all the connection stuff through like Steam.
Okay.
So you can play offline and then just join your friends off of your friends list, and it just like lets you do that. And it uses like obviously like the invasion and co-op system that the game has, but it makes those connections through like the Steam networking, which is like really nice.
Okay.
So it doesn't we don't have to be like hollow or unhollowed or whatever human.
So my stack of humanities is no longer needed. Good.
No, I actually need them because I'm using them to heal.
Of course.
Because every time I'm in there, I'm still technically, you know, co-oping.
Oh yeah, because you still don't get the Estus.
So I have 2 Estus, and the Estus situation is kind of shit because, until like, I've had a +1 flask, and we killed like 4 kings. So like,
oh God, why?
because I didn't ever get the fucking. I've only found 1 Firekeeper soul until like the last time we were playing.
Gross.
Yeah, but so yeah, we did Honor Orlando, and we one-shot ONS on his world.
Oh wow.
Which I was surprised by, and then also annoyed by, and then also I realized.
Yeah.
I realized why it happened, and it's just making me hate the way we're playing the game.
Oh.
Oh Christ. Because he's doing a Zweihander build, so he just staggers everything. Which turns...
So he's just playing on easy mode, basically.
That's what I kept telling you. I'm like, I hate that we're playing this on easy mode because you're not actually like getting to experience anything. Like, the bosses don't get to do anything. And I'm using a fucking... What the fuck am I using? Oh, I'm using the Dragon Greatsword from the... I'm using the tail weapon from the Slumbering Dragon. Or the Everlasting Dragon.
Yep.
So I have that, which also just infinite staggers everything, because it's a ton of fucking strength. So we're both just doing, like, a cringe strength build, and it just turns every boss off. Well, the ones that are kind of, like, moving.
DLC will definitely be a wake-up call.
We objectively had issues on Sif, because Sif doesn't stagger. ONS was, like, easy. And he figured out, he actually asked, he's like, do we have to do anything special here so that I can get this weapon? Which he...
Wow, look at him.
Well, rather, I asked, and I was like, hey, look, it's the people from the statues you were talking about. That guy has the weapon you were after, and he's like, yeah, I was about to ask, like, do we have to do anything special for this? Because he was already, like, on that mental path. Huh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's kind of inconspicuous,
what is that? Based on the angle, I would think it's Malekith, but it's wrong.
That's also fire.
I know, that's why it's like, what the... What has a fire weapon? Gwyn? Oh. Huh?
A giant?
A giant with a fire sword.
Where the fuck are you from?
He just has a... He has a pine bundle.
Yeah, no shit. Ow. Double ow.
Good.
Oh, I'm in danger.
Ow.
Not bad. Stagger that I can't capitalize on.
I also sat down with him, and in a very roundabout way, he managed to make Smo's hammer.
Oh, really? He like figured it out on his own with like the upgrading system?
He knew what he wanted to do and was figuring it out, but every time he would learn a new step, he would forget how he got there. So I was just kind of like... I kept basically repeating what he was already thinking out loud so that he could, like, keep his track.
Okay.
Because he'd like, I need to do this, and I'm like, okay, you need to do that, but for what? And he's like, I need to do this because it needs to be this so I can do that. I'm like, so you would need to upgrade or modify? And he's like, I would need to make this plus this to do that. He's like, I would need this. I'm like, yeah, so you would need that to do plus what? He's like, plus 6. I'm like, yep, so you would do... Like, I was just kind of, like, working through it by only repeating things he'd already figured out. Otherwise, he would just get lost in the system.
Gotcha.
He more or less figured it out, though. I definitely, like, gave him some hints, but he figured it out.
So I didn't understand that system for the longest time when I was first learning the game.
Fucking love that system.
It's a very interesting system.
I know everyone hated it, so they never did it again.
I didn't mind it.
Because it's not just like, you need 12 resources to level up. It's like, you need 4, 6, 8, 9, 1, 9.
But they have to be blue or red or white.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The specific types was annoying that I always got annoyed with, is trying to make sure you had the right ones for everything. Otherwise, I always thought it was a cool infusion system of how everything worked and how you would, like, level stuff. I thought that was always cool. So you've done ONS and 4 Kings, huh?
Yeah, so when we got the Lord Vessel, I think Guinevere has a line where she's like, talk to Kingseeker Frampt and he will guide you on your way or whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna tell you now, because I want you to do the fun thing, don't talk to Frampt.
Wow, look at you.
Which was the only, like, backseating I did. Ow. I have no more healing, by the way.
Good to know. Oh, he's gonna... Yep. Are you throwing flies at him?
No.
What are you... You're doing something that's causing bleed. I think. Well, that's rot. That's unfortunate.
I've been trying to hit him in the knot. I'm going to poison. I think I have any green boluses. Nope, I don't. Yeah, so I told him not to talk to Frampt, which set in motion a chain of events. I get to tell you about the Artorias situation.
The Artorias situation.
Oh, I get to explain this. Okay, so me telling him not to talk to Frampt set in line a chain of events that I can only describe as the Benny Hill theme personified.
Very good.
So, he has seen the Golden Fog at Demon Ruins, right?
Yep.
He then, after ONS and all that, we go back to Firelink, and he's like, I was like, where do you want to go? He's like, I'm not going to Darkroot because I hate the Forks. I'm like, okay. Which he doesn't know what it's called,
Fair.
but I'm clarifying this for those of us that do. He's like, I hate the Forest, I'm not going there. Okay.
God.
And then he's like, I don't want to go to New Londo Ruins. I'm like, okay. He's like, let's go to the Catacombs. I'm like, okay. Again, he doesn't know the name of these things, but I'm clarifying it.
Okay.
He's like, I want to go to the skeleton area. I'm like, okay. We spent a day trying to get through the Catacombs and the Tomb of the Giants. Which turned into a lot of him not having a good time because he
Yep, I believe it.
He died a lot trying to get anywhere. He died a lot. And it became a hassle, and it was unfun, and he could not figure out... I don't think he really ever figured out the Necromancer situation.
Okay.
And,
That's
like,
fair.
kept getting, like, distracted and lost. Because
That sounds in character.
Yeah, because, like, this is no one's fault if they do this, but, like, the thing people do where they will, you know when, like, you watch someone, like, walk down a hallway that has a bunch of doors and enemies in it, and, like, you know that there's nothing in, like, the first 3 rooms, but, like, the 4th room is important?
Yeah.
and you watch them check the first 3 rooms, and they're like, oh, there's something in these rooms, and so they don't look at the next room, and you're like,
You were so close.
yeah, but like that with every aspect of the game, where you and I know which enemies need to be killed, and like where to look, and like what to do, and like when to kind of focus on things and when not to focus on things, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say obvious, but it's kind of obvious, where it's like, you kind of get a sense for how the game is like pacing itself. Even if you've never played it before, you can kind of pick up on like how it's pacing things.
Yeah.
And like, is this a trash mob or is this important? Like that kind of thing. And he does this thing where he manages to do literally the wrong thing all the time.
Sounds in character.
Which is like, it's fine and you're allowed to do that, but it becomes very frustrating when I'm making comments on it, which is not good for me to do, but I'm just like, I'll just be kind of sitting there like peanut gallerying a little bit, being like, that's impressive. I'll be like, damn, blind as a fucking bat, huh? And I'm just like, kind of just audibly thinking, which compounds his frustration, which I shouldn't be doing, but like at the same time, like I'm not doing it to be mean.
No, I gotcha.
And it's just like, it leads to the situation where he like was getting progressively more and more like uncomfortable and frustrated with the situation. Not uncomfortable, but like he was already frustrated by like his inability to like remember things. And so me kind of like commenting on it or even like observing it was like
just adding.
Yeah, and it's like, it's never fun. I shouldn't have been doing it, but like I wasn't doing it to be mean. It was just kind of like, we're hanging out, you know, doing the soft antagonization kind of thing. That isn't antagonization, but whatever. Well, what is a tree sentinel? It looks weird from over here.
Kind of spooky.
But yeah, so that was the catacombs and such was not good for like mental health. And so we stopped. And then Tomb of the Giants was also not good.
For mental health?
For mental health, because he does not like the bone dogs.
I mean, who does?
Because he can't... I mean, I was not having any issues with them.
I mean, who likes them?
I mean, yeah, they're not a good enemy type, but like also they're not just fucking... You have a strength weapon, run at them and swing. Like, do the overhead and you just fucking stagger lock them. It's not that hard. But he was having an issue with that not like working, and he's like they're aggroing for weird radiuses, and I'm like, he's like, the lantern's being weird, and it's like hard, and sometimes they attack and sometimes they don't, and it's like frustrating, and he actually yelled at me because I was
wow.
Yeah, I was like, I actually got yelled at because it was he was struggling, and I was sitting at the bonfire waiting, and he's like these things, and I'm just like, and I know how I'm fighting them. I'm just like, run and swing, and he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, run and swing. And then, like, he got quiet because he was, like, focusing. And I did that thing where I, like, absentmindedly just keep repeating what I just said. Like, not at him, but, like, I'm just doing it.
I know.
And I was just like, just run and swing. Run and swing. Run and swing. Just run and swing. Like, just did that for, like, 3 or 4 times. And on, like, the 6th one, he fucking snapped at me. He's like, if you don't stop saying that, I'm leaving. And I'm like, wow, look at you. So I fucking immediately was like, I fucking persuasion checked him instantly. And I was like, listen, don't get uppity with me, bitch. And it like snapped him back to reality. He's like, I'm like, I know, but like, don't threaten to leave. I'm like, we're not in fucking high school. Get over yourself. You know? I was just like, I had to like reality check the situation. I'm like, I'm just absentmindedly repeating shit. I'm not doing it to be a dick. And he's like, I know. I'm like, okay, well then fucking chill. Because this follows a thing that I was doing that was annoying him. And I was doing kind of on purpose, which was, we found like the blacksmith coal in that like one tomb.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, hey, it's this guy. And he's like, I don't know who this is. And I'm like, it's the blacksmith. He's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, the guy goes, tink, 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 tink. And he's like, oh, yeah. I did that tink thing for 10 minutes.
It's impressive.
I was just like, tink, tink, tink. And he's like, where are we going? And I'm like, tink. I don't know, tink. And
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like something you'd do.
Yep, and I did it, and he's like, can you please stop? And I'm like, stop what? Tink. I just kept doing it. He's like, actually stop. And I'm like, stop what? Yeah. So it was after that, and then I just kept doing that, like, repeating thing about the fucking run and swing, and then he fucking yelled at me, and he was like, ooh. So that was fun. But so
he's got a spine in there.
Yeah, just had to break that in the sexy way. But he gets through Tomb, and then guess what he finds?
Gets through Tomb, and guess what he finds? I'm not sure.
I'll give you something that sounds like Schmolden Schmog Schmol.
I'll go up the fog wall.
Yeah, because remember, has been forbidden from talking to Framp, so he still hasn't placed the Lord Vessel yet.
Okay.
As he didn't want to go to New Londo. So we go all the way through all the Tomb shit, and he's like, we have to leave. And I'm like, yep.
God damn it. I'd be so mad at you.
I'm like, yep, we have to leave. Oh, I should update you. His egghead fully evolved when we killed ONS.
And how's that going for him?
He no longer has it because he figured out how to get rid of it by accident.
Oh, really? Good for him.
But yeah, he had it up through ONS, and then it finally fully evolved when he killed ONS. But then ow, okay, that's fine. He had it all the way through, I think he got rid of it before Four Kings.
Okay.
No, he couldn't have, because he didn't get rid of it until he had teleportation. So he met Koth and then got rid of it. So sometimes after that. I think it was sometime when we were fighting Sif. No, that also doesn't make any sense. Oh wait, no, that also doesn't make any sense. What did we do after the fucking thing? We went back to...
Good question.
Oh! I know. Okay, so... Getting ahead of myself. An egghead of myself. So, he... was like, we have to leave the tomb. That's a random dragon.
That it is.
So we had to leave the tomb. And at this point, he was like, let's just go to New Londo. I don't remember if that's exactly the line I'm thinking, but we ended up going there and not the dark route. So we go to New Londo. We do that. In which he dies a lot to ghosts. That's a rare.
That's fair.
In a very interesting way that I was just kind of like surprised that he managed to fucking die that way. Because I didn't have a lot of transient curses, and he had like a few. So I was like, at some point you're gonna have to drop some of those for me. So we get to like the ghost house, where Ingward is.
Yep.
And like we walk in there, and I'm like, remember, you gotta give me some transient curses at some point. And like he took that to mean stop moving immediately and then go into your inventory and find curses. In which case he got lambasted by every ghost in the tri-state area. And then
what the fuck happened to you, by the way?
There's a lightning ball that shot me 5 times.
Okay.
So he got ghosted.
Yeah.
And then was just kind of like frustrated that he died, and I'm like, why did you stop and go into your inventory right there immediately? And he's like, I just wasn't thinking about it. And I'm like, and he was also worried because he didn't want to be using his resources, so like we both kind of got fucked there. Well, he got fucked mostly, and was kind of like, at that point he was kind of like mildly like annoyed that I had asked him to stop, and I'm like, I didn't technically ask you to stop, but I also know that you wouldn't have known that there was danger there, so
miscommunication.
Also, everything up here is kind of busted for me, so...
Oh, yeah. Interesting. I was fighting him over there, but that works.
Because Elimer is...
warping around.
No, he's over at the beginning of the lake.
He's right here to the right.
He's over here for me.
Yeah. Never looking the same. The fucking omen is orping around though.
What were you fighting then?
I was fighting that knight that you killed. That was like... Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Just the knight you were fighting.
I thought you were... Ow.
I just killed you.
I thought you were fighting this, and I was like, this is not where this is supposed to be. So, we get through... We get through New Londo, and I'm gonna spare you the very long conversation that we were having the entire time because it's relevant but it's unnecessary.
Okay.
So we get to the fog wall, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have healing. Probably should leave and come back." And I'm just like, "Just go in." Just go in to the thing. He's like, I have a level. I just want to, like, I should leave and come back. I'm like, just go into the door. Just do it. It's fine. So we go in, and we're on the spiral staircase down to Four Kings. And
this fucking sucks, by the way.
And
anyway, on the spiral staircase.
We're on the spiral staircase, and he's like walking. He's like, oh, because, like, you know, sometimes it's like a fog wall that just goes to another area. He's realizing, he's like, oh, this is gonna be the kings, isn't it? He's like, I have like a level, and like, and I'm just like, it's fine. We get all the way to the bottom, and he finds out the stairs stop going down. It's like, he's like, oh, and he's like looking down. He's like, what what? I'm like, well, get to it. And he's like, I don't know how to. I'm like. He's like, okay, goodbye, level up, and then just like rolls off and instantly turns to smoke. Because, obviously.
Put the ring on.
Well, we don't have it yet.
Oh, right.
He's talked
Nice.
to... So, here begins part 1 of the Artorias saga. Where he's talked to Ingrid, and Ingrid said, learn the art of abyss walking from Artorias. And so he's like, I died. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, what do I do? This is super fucking broken.
You are frozen in place on my screen.
You're frozen in place on my screen.
Okay, he is just shoulder charging me. Okay, I'm dead. This is kind of broken right now.
You want to not fight Elemer?
Yeah, we might want to I might have to relaunch my game.
Okay. We'll just do a reset then.
Yeah.
So he's like, what did that guy say? And so I brought up all the dialogue so I could just repeat it to him because it's like walking over there's cringe. And so I was like, blah, 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 learn the art of abyss walking from Artorias. And I'm actually reading it, not just giving him the spark notes, but it's fine. So that was the whole thing. And he's like, well, let's go do that. And I'm like, okay. So we managed to get to, I don't remember how this happened, but we managed to get to the forest. And we're like, let's go just fight other bosses because we haven't done stuff. So somehow we get there. Somehow we get to Sif. And Sif turns into a problem.
Oh.
Sif turns into the... I'm not good at this game. I don't understand how it works. I suck. I always feel like I'm behind in levels. I don't understand what I'm doing. I'm not good enough to play this kind of boss. That's where, you know what I'm talking about? Like the Dark Souls mentality starts to fracture.
Yeah.
That thing that happens with people when they play like Elden Ring or Dark Souls where you just start having that like fucking I'm not good enough.
The downward spiral.
The spiral begins at Sif. And
I think I gotta reopen your world, but
I need to restart my game.
Okay.
So that starts going down, and so we have like a nice long talk about how what's going on. I'm like, use your words, explain to me what you mean. Like, do you feel like you're under level? Do you feel like you're just not paying attention? Do you feel like the enemies are hitting too hard? Do you feel like you don't understand like the dodging and the hitting? Like what's causing this? And so we talk about it, and he's like, his fire is reignited, and he's like, you know what, fuck it, we're killing Sif, we're doing it. I'm gonna do this. This becomes like the I gotta prove it to myself moment, right?
Okay.
So he starts doing that, and we manage to finally. He dies to Sif like 9 times, by the way. Like that's what generated this. I was genuinely surprised at how much fucking HP Sif had. Like, I have a fucking +5 dragon greatsword, and I'm doing like I was doing a lot of damage. He wasn't doing very much. I'm pretty sure he was still on a +5 Zweihander at the time, which is not enough for that part of the game.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't figured out how to make it +6 yet. Because he never looked at the modify screen. Because you have to modify it to +6 before you can get to from 6 to... Yeah. So...
Yep.
That became a whole thing. But... So we finally kill Sif. And he gets a bunch of items and doesn't pay attention to what they were.
Yep.
Because... Classic, right? The classic... The moment you need to be paying attention to what's happening, you don't look at the screen.
Yeah, that tracks.
And so he's like, I got a bunch of stuff. I don't know what it was. And I'm like... So he's wandering around and finds the Hornet Ring and all this other stuff. And I was like, man, you really should look at your inventory. Because like he's like, what did I even get? And I'm like, stuff? Like important stuff? And this is the part of the game where he's like, it was either this session or it was the next session where he admitted to me that he was, we all have this. This is not just a him thing. This is like people in general have this thing where there's stuff going on outside the game. And so you might not be paying attention to what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not fully focused on the experience you're having. So I learned that the very first session we played, he was paying attention. And then up until basically Sif died, he had not been actually taking in any information.
Oh, Jesus.
So like ONS was like an autopilot fight. Everything between basically Taurus Demon and I think ONS was mentally just autopilot, and he was not actually like absorbing and retaining and like understanding what was going on, which for Dark Souls 1 is a death sentence for knowing where to go and what to do and why.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. So now that we're playing, now that I have learned that, I could help like reteach him the basics, like talk to vendors, exhaust dialogue, read items. It's a Dark Souls game. And he's like, yep, it's a Dark Souls game. I have to read everything. I'm like, yep. So we're doing that. And so he finds the Covenant of Artorias in his inventory, and he's like, oh, this grants Abyss Walking, or this grants, like, you know, the Abyss thing. We go back to Four Kings. I will make it clear that we've only killed Sif one time. So he has the Covenant of Artorias and wants to go do Four Kings. Okay.
Did you bother to say anything, or you just
Nope.
waiting for the realization?
I didn't say shit.
Okay.
So he's like, I'm gonna go see if this works. I'm like, okay. So we go to Four Kings, and I join him, and we get to the bottom of the staircase, which is weird because I'm used to just jumping off the staircase.
Right.
And he gets down there, and I don't go into the boss fight. I just stay up top on the stairs because I'll die if I touch the thing.
Yep.
I forgot there was a thing there.
Me too.
And
Kind of jumped a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
so he goes into the Four Kings. The next thing I tell you is going to make you realize why I'm calling it the Artorias Saga. Because he goes into Four Kings and is like, he's like, whoa, what's that? That's super cool. And swings a couple times and then dies because they hit really fucking hard. Or it hits really fucking hard.
That's menacing as shit.
I will... Would you like to know the next thing he said about the boss? After he died, after he attacked it a couple times and died to like one swing. You want to know what his next thing was?
Where were you?
No, it was... I'm missing something. I'm missing something because I can't do damage to these, so I need an item.
Oh.
And I think he's streaming on Discord this time, and I'm realizing what happened, and it's all coming together, and I'm like, this is going to be hours of him figuring out what just happened. He never got close enough to actually hit the Four King.
That's funny.
Because the perspective down there is so shit.
Yep.
He never pushed himself into its hitbox and actually gave it a good swing, so he was kind of like, he missed. Even if he was close enough, he missed. And so he is now convinced that he has the ability to walk in the abyss, but he needs to go and meet or find Artorias to learn how to do damage to the things in the abyss, because Ingward said you need to like learn from Artorias how to do this. So he's convinced that the ring is not enough, and he has to go and find Artorias to commune with him or learn from him. He's an NPC somewhere, or he's like a thing to interact with. There's something he's missing, an item, a prompt, something that will allow him to actually do damage to the Four Kings. And this is where we begin the legitimate 4-hour adventure of him trying, and I love this. This is in no way to be mean, trying everything he can at the grave in Sif's arena. Because he finally read the soul and read the items and realized that that is Artorias' grave. Because I think Sif's soul says that. And if it doesn't, then he talked to Alvina, and I was like, because he had obviously like gotten rid of all of the information that he ever had on the game in his head, when he met Alvina and talked to her initially, he didn't pay attention to what she said. And she's like, the only thing that's in here is the grave of Artorias. It's not worth it. Don't go for it. And he doesn't remember that. So I was like, because you don't know this, I'll just tell you. And so I read out her dialogue to him. And he's like, oh, that's Artorias' grave. And then he read Sif's soul, and like, I think Sif's soul says something about like that they were companions or something. And so he's putting all these pieces together, and he's like, I need to go to the grave and try everything I can. Genuinely has some interesting ideas, like actually very like FromSoft level kind of ideas. Get behind me. Where he was like, because remember the Hornet Ring's behind the grave. He's like, maybe that's like a hint of like, there needs to be a ring here, but maybe I should put a different ring here. At this point, he's reading like items and then like finding a mention of Artorias and then stopping everything and then going and trying stuff, which is the worst way to do something, because he went to the grave and back to Alvina, I think like 6 times with like different ideas. But he was finally reading the Hornet Ring, and I'm like, those rings all look very similar. And he's like, oh yeah, they do. And he's like reading them. And he got to the Wolf Ring, and he's like, the Wolf Ring, blah, blah, Artorias. Like every time the name Artorias comes up, he's like, this could be the answer. Which is adorable to watch, even though I know it's wrong. And so he went and he put the Wolf Ring down on the ground behind the grave to see if that would work. And, you know, is doing all this stuff to like try to make it work. And because the situation had happened where he hadn't been reading stuff, he was talking to Andre. Oh, I forgot the best part of this. The thing that happened before all of like the items and the rings, his initial thought was amazing. Because he got to the grave and was like, if this is Artorias' grave, he might be buried here? And he's like looking around, he's like, I need a shovel.
Oh, Christ, that's funny.
And so he's like, there's a vendor that sells a shovel. And I'm like, okay. He's like, oh, which vendor was that? And I'm like, I don't know. So he goes off to find a vendor that sells a shovel. One of the vendors he checks is Andre. Now, meanwhile, he's streaming Discord, so I can see what he sees. And I'm watching him repeatedly, like, I broke my controller. Sad.
You broke your controller?
Yeah, kinda. How could this happen to me? That's inconvenient.
A little bit.
A beast eye. I don't think I've ever seen that item before. Looks weird. So, he is now on a track to find anything and everything related to the name Artorias, which I'm enjoying. And I've watched him scroll past the crest of Artorias like 8 times now, trying to find a shovel. And he like does all that and then walks away from Andre, and I'm like, blind as a fucking bat. And he's like, what didn't I? He's like, right, read everything, look at everything that the vendor has, because like he's already like, even though he just remembered to do that, he already forgot to do that.
Checks out.
And goes back, opens it, and he's like, what did I miss? And is like hovering over the thing, and is like, and it's just like so upset with himself. Is everything got to be poisonous? Which, as we all know, oh god, doesn't do what he's looking for it to do.
Oh god, no.
I will remind you that he still thinks there's 2 doors. Like, he thinks there's the door at the beginning of Darkroot that we all always see, and then because we go to it backwards, and like you can go up from like the basin, like through the really tall ladder and such, he's convinced that that door, like the back side of the same door, is a different door.
Oh, really?
So he kept trying to find a way to open both the doors, and now he has the way to open them, and then opened it and figured out, oh, it's the same door.
Nice.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Sounds like it. Sounds like the whole ordeal's been interesting.
It was many hours of him. Nice idea. At the exact same time.
That was pretty good. I switched this to mainly heal, but happy accidents.
Chose the exact same angle of difference from center.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it like, is it ridiculous? Yeah. Is it stupid? Absolutely. But it was very fun to watching it happen.
Oh, I bet.
And then so he still hasn't figured out how to talk to Artorias or find Artorias, and is still convinced that he needs to learn how to do damage to the Four Kings.
Instead of just getting close to it and hitting it.
Instead of just trying again. Because I feel like most people will like be like, I'm going to do that again and see if like, you know, just to make sure, you know?
Right.
Which he didn't do, and so he's just convinced that he needs an item. And I'm just sitting here,
funny.
I'm just like, dude, like, all of this extra shit you've been doing is because you are convinced you need an item that you don't need. And he's eventually he gets to the idea of just like, I'm just gonna go back and see. Now,
right.
his idea of I'm gonna go back and see, by the way, is, oh, I need to get my fucking souls.
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
I don't know where they are.
Down in the lake still?
Yeah, I died to Elimer is why.
The beast eye quivers. Wonderful.
I don't have a compass anymore because the boss icon. Yeah, I just realized I'm like, I should have more than that. I had 91,000 over here.
Jesus.
Forgot.
Time to use those.
Yeah. So many hours into this adventure is when he finally realizes maybe I should have tried hitting it more. Which
That's
is
funny.
Instead of that being like the second thing, that was like the 100th thing. So we go back and I think at this point, I think this time is we've both killed Sif by now, so I also have it.
Okay.
And we go in there, and he runs up, and I know what happened because the next thing he says is, "Wow, these are much bigger than last time." So he never even got fucking close. he never even got close.
That's funny.
And yeah, we managed to kill 4 kings. It was actually on the second run through when I had to kill them. Or rather, no, was it the first? The first attempt, one of us died. I think he died. And I was doing fine. And then our second try, I could not... You know how every once in a while a boss will just do that thing where it's just perfectly off pattern for you? And it's like, It just beats you, it just hits you every single time and you can't avoid it. I had a really bad cycle on 4 Kings the second time. It was the worst fight that we've had in Remaster, I think, at all. Like, for me, it was awful. And I'm only fighting one of them. He's fighting like 3 of them and it's fine. But like, something about the way that it was lining up was just...
Oh god, you're fighting 3 at once?
We were fighting, like, yeah, we had, like, we always had 2 up, and sometimes we had 3. I think at the very end we had 4. But yeah, we had...
Christ.
It was... Bro, he doesn't do any damage, and because I can't hit mine, I can't get rid of it.
He's got his Y-hander.
He can't hit the fucking thing. It's a +5. He's doing, like... He's doing like maybe a quarter of my damage.
My brother in Christ.
It's hard out here, okay? So yeah, that was the adventure. Then we finally kill 4 kings, and he's like, he looks over and says, "Oh, I don't want to talk to you," and gets all mad because he sees Koth, who he thinks is Frampt.
Oh my god.
And he's like, "I don't want to talk to this asshole," and I'm like, "Go talk to the snake. For the love of fuck, go talk to the snake." And I'm like, "But whatever you do, pay attention to what the snake says." Because he's like, he goes over and starts talking to it, and then starts like talking to me about like, "I don't want to fucking talk to this thing. This guy's an asshole." And I'm like, "Shut up and listen to what it's saying." Because immediately it's like, "I'm fucking Darkstalker Koth. I'm totally not that other asshole." And it's like, this is all very important, so shut up and listen. So he talks to Koth and learns all of the stuff about Gwyn's legacy and the lying and the bullshit, and decides to, after a very long time of staring at the, like, "What will you do" screen, yes or no, with like agreeing or disagreeing with Koth. Like, we're talking it out, and he's like, "I want to do this and that, but this could mean that." And he's like, "But Guinevere said this, and like, we're supposed to be helping." And he's like, I want to end like the undead like suffering and like the slavery thing. He's like, and they said if I help Gwyn, then that will stop. And I'm like, he's like, "But he also said that Gwyn told his children to like do that," and maybe I'm like, "Maybe it's a lie." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe it is a lie." He's like, "Maybe it wouldn't do this," and like, "Maybe whatever." And like, it like genuinely having like a really long thought out discussion about how this is gonna work. And I think we did this for like 15 minutes, where we were just talking about like the implications of like what was going on, and like, do you want to side with Frampt or Koth? And it was pretty much entirely on him to like sit there and like think about it. Like, I didn't prompt him to like do that, but I definitely helped him think about it. And yeah, he eventually was like, I'm gonna help Koth," and I'm like, "Okay," because he's like, "Well, yeah, if I'm supposed to usher in like a new age or whatever, then I want to help this guy because that makes more sense, and it's the natural way of things, and yada yada." So he eventually does that, places the Lord Vessel, and finally learns he can fucking do the stuff. So now he's looking
what
for
an adventure.
Now he's looking for bosses to go kill, and And yeah, pretty sure. But I keep forgetting that you don't have to place the Lord Vessel to warp. So because you just have to have it. So sometime before that,
Correct.
when he was just kind of, I think when we left Tomb of the Giants, I think he warped down to, this is when he was like on his like adventuring around kick. And I think he just went down to Neiman Ruins to like look around, and I think he talked to Ingward, and Ingward was like, "I have an egg," and then so that's when he got rid of it.
I have an egg.
So, the him finally like him reading one item at a time, trying to find any mention of Artorias, and then being like convinced that he has to learn some magical ability from this NPC that he hasn't found yet, and then has to find a shovel to dig up the grave and has to do all this stuff, was just like, oh my gosh, it was awesome.
Pat, you're adorable.
Yeah, that was pretty much what it was. I'm like, God, you're stupid, but get over here. So when someone asks, "What'd you do?" You know, we killed 4 kings. How'd that go? Well, sits down in chair. Let me tell you a story.
Grab a seat.
Yeah, it was fucking silly.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It was a trip. Oh, and then, after all
And
of
another thing.
after all of that, he finally managed to find his way to lower Undead Burg, and we went to the depths.
Oh, very good.
After 4 kings.
What a fucking trip, dude. That's wild.
It was stupid.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it. Okay, I can't hurt you. I was like, fuck.
Man, I'm about to get a new controller.
So what did you do exactly?
My right trigger is crunched now, so it doesn't have the like bounce back.
Oh.
So it just like I have to actually like if I want to swing, I have to be like all the way on the inside of the button to actually like hit the button. On the outside, it doesn't like do like the pop. It doesn't like come back up.
Gotcha.
So it's just kind of like I can do it on the edge, but like it's really fucking difficult. But in a game like this, where that's like the main button,
Yeah.
kind of a problem. Don't really want to buy another controller.
They do be expensive.
I also think it's stupid that like you need a whole new controller when one of the cheap little parts fails.
I mean, you could repair it, technically.
Yeah, I wonder how much of a pain in the ass that would be.
A lot. Like anything, they make it a pain in the ass, so you'll just buy a new one.
I think this is the exact same problem I had with my other one too.
Oh, really?
There's a wind man.
Fucking... Did you just die instantly? What happened?
I was hurt, but it definitely did a lot of my health.
Ow. You are almost dead again. What happened?
These geysers hurt.
Oh, yeah, fair.
So yeah, that's as you asked an hour and a half ago, that's how Remaster's been going.
Very good. Glad you're having fun.
Hey.
What a series of conversations we've had.
We've had like 2.
I know. But still.
This is an invisible enemy. What is that?
What?
What are you fighting?
Oh, there's just like skeletons and shit.
Oh, there's nothing there for me.
Oh yeah, nothing major is here. Just literal garbage.
Well, I
stuff.
only ask because it keeps hitting me.
Oh, why do I keep taking tick damage?
Well, like Torrent was, oh god, like Torrent was almost dead, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking, you're just swinging at nothing, and there's like numbers, and I'm like,
You good? What kind of demons you fighting?
I just want to know what the fuck it was, so I didn't know if I needed to leave or not.
Is it safe here? Gets hit and dies.
Well, yeah, if it was something big, I didn't want to be next to you.
Ow. Just want the item, thank you.
Ooh, a somber 9.
Wow.
When we eventually get around to Dark Souls 1, are we just gonna do like a big, thorough playthrough and get like all the achievements and shit like we were planning on?
Probably.
At some point, I want to do this, but with Dark Souls 1. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
But I don't think we should do an enemy and item randomizer when we're trying to like actually play the game.
No. Probably not. Is this one of fucking what's his nuts? Is fucking dude?
Nile Neil?
Yeah, Nile.
You knock these over, right? No.
They're coming. Can stagger him though.
You know what I'm looking forward to after we're done here today?
What's that?
Spending $100 on a controller.
Yeah. I mean, they're not that expensive.
Eh. They were last time I bought one.
Jesus, really?
They were the. Well, I have an
What
elite
kind of controller?
I have an elite controller. They're like 100.
I had to clarify on that. I was like, wait a minute, what kind of controller are you using?
Yeah, they're like 100. They're like $120 or something. They're a lot.
I just use a normal one, so.
I probably could, but eh. I found a drawer full of money the other day, so I think I'm okay.
Just random drawer full of money.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
Was it a rainy day fund that just was left for a long rainy day?
No, it's just I forget that I like if like someone gives me money for something, or
Are you like a fucking squirrel?
yeah, like if
You just stash your shit.
yeah, if someone like gives me something or I get something like I get like a birthday card or something, or someone like, you know, does something like that, I'm like, oh, a 20, and I just like stick it in a drawer.
Huh.
And
Okay.
I did a survey of all the little places that I shove shit in in my room, and that's actually useful.
Oh, wow.
I can't wait to take more damage.
Yeah.
Is the source seal the level 1? Is like the first one, or is that the scar seal?
That's the scar seal. Source seal is plus $5 stats.
Got more stats now. Oh my god. Wretched fools. Wretched fools. Wretched fools. Stop it.
Yeah.
You'll never find me.
Stop spamming.
You'll never find me. Never gonna find me. Bro, it's still happening.
Never gonna catch me.
Holy shit.
Oh, fucking... I don't know why that made me think of it, but did you see what they announced for MW2?
No.
They're doing a zombies mode.
Oh.
Yep.
But they don't do zombies.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be like Cuban cartel zombies?
It's like it's just like a zombie battle royale.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it's like actual zombies. I have no idea what the fuck it is.
When there's a problem in the lake. Probably should kill this first.
But the hand?
Yeah. I think I only hit you.
Probably.
That's a madness flower!
Hi, friend.
Oh yeah, the friend came over here.
You wanna buff? I wonder which one this is. Okay, he's like almost dead now.
I have that magic too.
Ow. Bitch. Well, he's not bleeding, so it's a sewer mode, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Status immune, piece of shit. Ow.
Probably upgrade this weapon. Yep, you are still coming for me, aren't you? God, I really just want to change this weapon. Good stagger.
Not immune to poise.
I'm gonna...
Okay, I see you. Wow, wow. I hate that noise he makes.
It's a noise, alright.
Sounds like a crab. Some kind of sea creature.
Right. Oh, Jesus. Good fucking...
Mamma mia. No, not the delay. I just got German. No! I can't be like him. No!
He actually comboed me good. I thought he was doing the blood rain, and he hit me in the face.
Blood rain. I turn away from the...
I need to upgrade these weapons. So
turn away from the Mikola to kill you.
Oh, the fucking plunge.
I actually just kind of stopped trying when I was on top of the rock. I'm like, we'll just come back and do it. I'm just kind of like swinging at him.
That's just fair.
Begins crying and hiding tears. I wasn't even trying. Keep activating him before you can see him, but he's just like off in the lava looking the other way. It's really weird.
Kinda spooky. Okay.
Is he actually status immune?
I believe so.
Oh, Jesus, that was rarely. Oh, fuck. Really...
Oh. Fuck. How could this happen to me?
Uh-oh. The noise that, like, stab and unstab makes is very not applicable, like, what's going on.
Right. Oh, God.
Tink.
Did it too soon? That's fair. You know what? No, that's fair.
Do not compliment the enemy.
Did I just kill you?
Technically, no, but yes. He killed me. You stagger locked me into being hit by him.
Oh, you get to come back. I'll let you finish him. He's almost dead.
I went to the bonfire so that I could get rid of my rot, but I guess I'll run back.
Oh.
He has a lot of HP.
He has no HP.
Okay, it updated now. I'm coming. Maroons. They're gone.
Ow.
That was a good joke.
Pretty good.
Overhead! My stick is made of rocks.
Dies to blood shower.
Close. Magma worm Moog has been slain. Mark. Ooh.
Oh, hey. Cool.
It's kind of appropriate for him to have the Halley Tree medallion.
It really is. Golden Rune 5. Godskin Stitcher.
There's another item over there that
Spinning Weapon.
I never used the Godskin Stitcher. Okay. There's a lot of bad. I'm just gonna go back to the bonfire.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Kind of want to go to Round Table real quick and upgrade.
What are you upgrading?
My axe. The Stormhawk axe and then Rykard's weapon, I think.
What item?
I love the fucking... You're clearly going one way, and like, oh wait, gotta redirect, and then doing a fucking 180.
It's really good. We did it too well.
I see that. I fucking, like, on my screen, like, I disappeared from the fucking grace.
And then the grace was just kind of there.
Oh, no.
It's fine. I got it.
Oh, God. Great enemy felled. Okay, fair enough. I forgot about this. I forgot we literally just got the half, so I wasn't thinking about it.
I have to vote to warp there.
I'm fucking stuck in seamless co-op loading hell.
All right, let's just do this.
Okay, I'm here. We can go.
Get out!
No.
Me kicking you out. Oh, okay. I finally got the loot from that.
Yep, me too.
Me kicking you out forced me back into the round table from Mount Gelmir because it undid your need to vote.
No, I warped us right when you were dismissing me, so I brought us back.
Very fun and interesting gameplay.
Yeah. Wow, because I don't have fuck all for Sombers, I was able to upgrade both of them once.
Amazing.
Yeah. I played myself.
I did that yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was it?
It's fine. Like 3 yesterday. Like, eh. But the one from the other day, a couple days ago, was pretty chef's kiss, if I do say so myself.
Good to know.
You asked.
Fair. Oh, we had a lot of fucking bell bearings, apparently. I will say I would be interested in doing a co-op run of Baldur's Gate.
Wow.
As like an aside, that's something I think would be fun.
How does it even work?
So you basically... You can either start it at the beginning of a campaign, or if a friend wants to join you, they can just play as one of the origin characters later on. And it's just drop in, drop out co-op campaign. But like, if I were to do co-op campaign with you, I'd have you host it. I would just join you. I would make a character, and then like I'd basically just follow you around. This is pretty much all I would do.
What's the fucking point of that though for you?
I enjoy playing the game. I think it'd be fun to watch you play the game.
I hate that. I hate people watching.
Doing exactly what you're doing to you-know-who.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls, basically.
I hate people watching me play a game.
Stares at the screen.
I thank you. So what can I do for you?
No, there's still a lot. There's still shit in that game I want to try out and play around with shit, so I just enjoy playing the game in general.
Good work.
I gave D the weather dagger that we found.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't remember what that does.
Lately, of full and I have. So I just want since you're so.
I'm sure nothing bad will come from it.
We still can't talk to the fucking Finger Maiden.
Nope. Haven't killed the fucking...
We haven't found any fucking craters. Oh yeah, I forgot that we have a fucking log station Melania in the back room.
Yeah.
When is 6 point whatever coming out? Or whatever the next patch is?
6.5 comes early October.
Okay. I gotta go fucking figure out if I want to deal with grinding all the stuff I didn't do.
You can scarcely. You might be surprised. They only had to. It's on Mount. That's where they hide. Just you wait. You'll the tale of. That's where they. Just you wait. The tale of.
So I haven't done any of the Tombstone event.
Oh, I bet.
But now that I know when roughly it's going to be, now I can
Figure out if you actually want something and then...
distressingly freak myself out about doing it.
Yeah, that tracks. I basically just wanted to make sure I did the Rising event, so that's all I did.
That was the Gundam armor, right? Or whatever, the Power Ranger armor?
That was Moonfire. The
Okay.
current one is the Phoenix mount.
Yeah, I already did that. Yep. Yep, I did that. I looked stupid because I was running around reading all the letters that weren't the one I needed to read because I like reading all the stuff.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Look at this idiot not going right to the fucking objective. Me, I just think they're neat. God, I wish. White Cipher Ring automatically summons you when a hunter needs help. What the fuck system did I just read about that I never knew about?
Just like the
The
Way of
Sentinels.
Blue.
I don't think I ever even read about that. Interesting.
Things the game won't tell you about.
I mean, if it's a ring item, I feel like I would have read about it by acquiring the item. But apparently I've never noticed it or seen it. My Whirl isn't open.
Iggy.
Oh my god. They've changed these since last time I bought one.
Oh, controllers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird that they kind of, like, combined the Elite controller nomenclature into, like, everything, because Xbox controllers are just now just called that, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Which is stupid.
Yeah. Microsoft's not been very good about the whole naming convention, though, so.
Oh, yeah. They are very, very not good at it, actually. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, because I gotta pee.
Okay.
Okay. These things are fucking expensive.
Unfortunately. Okay. Where do we want to go next?
I figured we just continue back around the mountain like we were trying to.
That's fair.
Because there's that village over there with probably definitely not Maggie. Bunch of items in that village, and then that leads to the hero grave that no one likes.
Fair.
I did not remember these things being $180 though. And
I want to say they were. I want to say they were about 120 originally.
I remember them being like 179, which is what they are full price. That number sounds right, but like in a weird way where it's like you never bought one for that much.
Yeah.
But I've had to buy. This is my second one, I think, or my third. I can't remember. But I've bought two at least. I think one. Well, this might be my third, but I didn't buy three. I think one of them I got like I traded it in because it broke like immediately.
Oh, gotcha.
Ow. This one I've had for a really long time, but it always had like a weirdly crunchy trigger, which I've never liked, but it was never a problem. But can't
Until it crunched too hard.
Well, the trigger was weird, but not the bumper.
Oh.
Because, like, the trigger has never been, like, perfectly smooth. Like, if you do it really slow, it, like, clicks. Like, it's catching on something in there, because, like, these are manufactured in fucking Botswana or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking shit garbage quality that they charge premium for. There is a Mogling over here.
I saw him hop down.
Okay. Any items on this roof?
I killed the Mogling.
Do you have a
Dramatic pause.
I got a DM side one. I don't know what the fuck it was about. What the fuck did I ask you?
You were gonna ask me, have you something?
Oh, have you fucking god. I'm stun locked.
I see that.
Nintendo Switch, question mark.
Okay, what about a Nintendo Switch?
Do you have one? Do you want one? Have you used one? Do you have any opinions
We have
on it?
two of them. Me and the wife both have one.
Do you have an opinion on it?
Fucking mediocre. Overall.
That's good.
I mean, it's fine for what it is, but otherwise it's like, in this day and age of what AAA title like gaming is, it's very mediocre because it doesn't put out much quality.
Well, like, if you want to play, like, Tears of the Kingdom, you have to have a Switch, right?
Legally.
I mean, because I know you can play... Is Tears of the Kingdom emulated?
Oh my fucking Christ. I believe so. I believe they're all emulated at this point.
I know Breath of the Wild is 100% emulation-able, but I didn't know if
God.
Tears of the Kingdom was.
I'm really glad you're just standing over there
I
while this is happening.
Told you I was doing DM stuff. Did you manage to get to the bonfire?
Oh, yeah, I did, but I was being fucking stunlocked by the archer over there.
I had not assumed you were expecting me to be doing anything helping you wise, because I was definitely on doing something else.
Well, I just couldn't do anything. I was literally stunlocked. So
Where is the bonfire?
you ran past it.
Did I?
It was way... It's gonna happen again.
I thought it was up here in this village.
No, it is down.
Oh, it's in
It
this
is
other village. Okay.
right in the beginning of where all this shit is.
I'm being asked if I want to do something really annoying, but I'm trying to figure out if I want to do it or not. Ow! I found the archer.
Yeah. It is miserable over here.
Well, I'm at the Grace. Oh, I see how this could be a problem.
Yeah. What exactly are you being asked to do?
I'm being asked if I want to play Trials of Osiris.
You're still playing that game?
Apparently. What is that? Oh, it's one of those.
It's just one of the fucking lion guards.
But sometimes it's magical and sometimes it's not.
What's that?
The arrow it's shooting, sometimes it's gravity and sometimes it
Oh,
isn't.
yeah. There's no logic behind that fucking arrow.
This
The
place
pumpkin
is
head on the roof.
This place is very... I think there's two of them. This is very packed full of shit.
Just ran past a rune bear. And in turn, now I have to deal with the rune bear.
Ooh, I got some bussy relish. Oh, legendary item at the Star Cup.
Stun locked in a wall.
I don't want to hit you. It's really bad over here.
It has been awful going up this mountain.
Demi-human queen sanguine noble. Pick a type.
Oh god, the rune bears come back for me.
Oh, can I tell you about Bungie's recent publicity stunt?
Sure.
So, there was a bug. People found a way. I'm surprised it actually took this long. I was theorizing this was a thing you could probably do a long time ago, but I wasn't going to fucking spend the time on it. So the crafting system is really weird in that game, in that the menus are kind of cumbersome. And I always noticed that the menus were cumbersome, and there was a part of me that was thinking there's probably a way to, like, manipulate this with some prompt swap stuff a la Dark Souls 1, because of how delayed the menus are. Lo and behold, someone figured out how to do it. So, someone figured out how to basically just... Oh my fucking god! Someone figured out how to prompt swap weapon crafting. Dude.
It's AIDS up there.
The rune bear just doesn't stop swinging.
And it's got 1,000,000 HP.
So basically people were crafting guns and then they were using it to switch the stats onto other guns. So people were putting like perks that are on like an auto rifle, and they were moving that perk option onto like an SMG or a shotgun, and shotguns on other stuff. And they were also able to move the archetypes. So when you masterwork those guns, and you can like change it to like a handling masterwork for like an aggressive frame, right? They were doing that and then moving it to a different weapon type. So people were putting like aggressive shotguns onto auto rifles, which means every bullet that the auto rifle would shoot would be an aggressive shotgun like pellet spread. So you just end up with like a full auto shotgun that has 40 shots and then has like perks from other things, so it just like does 1 billion damage. People were putting shotguns onto like the aggressive linear frame, so they were just doing like the triple burst linear, but it was doing it was giving you shotgun damage on the linear burst, so it was just a giant hail of bullets. And Bungie, we're not evil and liars, and we want you to keep buying things in Eververse, so we have to pretend to like our community. Decided that it would be in their best interest to not immediately turn the game off for a weekend.
Gotcha.
And so they're like, you know what? We love our players. Go ahead and have fun. And so they left it enabled while they worked on a solution in the background. And so it was a fun weekend of people being able to like use broken weapons and do a bunch of crazy shit. And people really liked it. People were having fun. They're like, this is the most fun that we've had in a long time, and it's like a once-in-a-decade bug, and it's so exciting. And Bungie's such an amazing developer for allowing us to have this time to like have fun. I'm like, God, fucking shut up.
Right.
So all of that was going on, and then they finally were like, we're gonna fix it. And people were like, that sucks, but we understand. I want to rot this, because this thing keeps healing.
Yeah, by all means, do what you gotta do.
So they announced that they're gonna fix it by basically just eventually they're gonna disable all the crafted guns, and then they're gonna do like a rollout where they kind of tweak everything so that anything that was crafted with illegal perks would just be reset to what it was before that. But they have to turn them off first because that would make sense. So to keep this in mind. So they're going to disable all crafted guns, and then they're going to do a nice little sweeping patch where they fix everything. Sounds good, right?
Okay.
That's what they wanted to do. In classic Bungie incompetence, what they actually did was disable some perks that they thought were too strong to have enabled still because they couldn't figure out how to turn off all crafted guns. So they basically they partially turned off some of the perks on some of the guns so that some of your guns had no perks, some of them had like one. And people were still using them because it looks like you can equip them, so they must not be disabled, but they didn't have perks on them, so they were doing no damage. And because they just are incompetent. And so they did that, which was half-assed. They also definitely lied about the time frame because there's a tweet that says within 24 hours we're turning them all off. It took them a day and a half to even do the not what they said part. And then, in all of this, while they're fucking with the servers, people are starting to have a lot of connection issues. And the game's starting to, like, fail, and we were trying to do a Grandmaster Nightfall on Monday, because I wanted a roll of the weapon just to have it, just so I could have it for collections. And we were doing that, and we kept getting disconnected. Like, it was really fucking bad. So, fast forward to, like, the servers being shit and everything kind of being broken. And we get to the point where... And it's, like, awful, right? But this is classic when Bungie fucks with, like... When they start doing stuff on the server side and they're doing it kind of, like, hastily. That's the most useless item ever. When they start doing things kind of hastily and like in almost like a panic because that's how they do things, it typically will break the server and they'll have to do like a rollback. This is a common thing that's been happening over the last like few months as they've gotten less and less good at doing the only thing that they do, right? Because like when Lightfall came out, the game was a laggy mess and they kept having to do rollbacks like every week because they kept breaking shit, right?
Yep.
So we're all looking at it and going, Bungie's fucking with the servers, trying to quote-unquote fix crafted weapons. I'm in the dungeon, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So, that's a whole fucking thing. And then, like a day later, in like the middle of the night, they do a nice long tweet. I'm going to pull up the tweet for you. Because I want to tell you what this says. Because it's ridiculous. Alright. Over the past couple of days, we have seen a spike in error codes and disconnects. The team has confirmed that these error codes are not related to the planned fixes rolling out for recent crafting issues, and are instead the result of a DDoS attack. While we typically don't confirm these types of attacks and do not plan to in the future for general game security reasons, we believe it's the right thing to do for our recent players to communicate the added pressure to our systems given recent circumstances. We want to thank our players for their patience as our teams work swiftly to ensure the integrity of the game and continue to implement our roadmap for future stability improvements. I'll take lying sack of shit for 500, Alex.
Yeah.
Like, they have said in the past that they're never going to, like, talk about connection stuff. And even in that, they're like, we don't normally do this. And we're never going to do this again. But we thought it would be... We want to let our recent players know that this isn't our fault. It's like, you're just... You're lying. You're literally fucking... You're lying. Holy shit. So, yeah. El Clasico.
Still kind of surprised that you're playing the game, but...
I'm not. I haven't since the day one.
Well, you said you tried a Grandmaster on Monday, so that's all I was saying. That's all I meant.
Well,
really.
yeah, I was...
God.
That is the extent of what I have done.
Oh, God.
Just because I wanted a roll of that gun, just because it was in rotation, and it was the only time it was ever going to be... Oh, God. The only time that that weapon was ever going to be worth trying to get was that week. So it's like, for future reference, I'm just going to grab that and be done with it. Still wasn't fun.
I guess more so I don't know. I don't see the point, personally.
I mean, there isn't a point, but, like, I wanted it, and it shouldn't have been as hard as it was. It should have been, like, a 20-minute thing just to know that I had the gun and then be done with it. Go play something the fuck else, which was what the plan was. Until we got error-coded repeatedly, and it ended up being, like, 2 hours. But it's okay, guys. It's not Bungie's fault. Them fucking with the back end and telling us they're going to do stuff and then not doing it and then having it break because every time they fuck with the servers, the game breaks. It definitely wasn't their fault. That the thing that's classically their fault was breaking the game. No, it was definitely a series of DDoS attacks, which they've repeatedly said they're never going to talk about. Like, really?
Right.
We don't normally talk about this, and we're never going to in the future, but we want you to know that if you recently came to play the game and are buying Eververse stuff, it's okay. We love you. Keep buying stuff. Like, what the fuck? I read that and I was like, oh my god, that's so fucking gross.
I'm actually wondering why I still have it installed. I probably should just uninstall it, but I left it installed on the off chance you guys messaged me.
Funny that you mentioned that because he actually asked me if you were going to be a third for that or not, and I was like, I'm not going to fucking ask him. He's got like
trials. No,
not trials for the GM.
Oh, okay.
Which would have not.
That would be.
It wouldn't. It wasn't hard at all. It was harder to find like a random that could stay connected. Like the connection issues were a huge deal.
Gotcha.
It was like kind of late on like a day that I know you work, and I wasn't gonna bother you with it.
Gotcha. I thought you meant for the trials thing. I'm like, God, fuck no.
You know what I won't understand?
What's that?
People on Twitch that are just weird about like what they do. This isn't me specifically calling anybody out. Looks at the person I'm calling out.
I say I felt like that was very directed. But yeah, okay.
But like, which way do we go?
I don't actually know.
I think up is a death sentence. It's just a blank wall, so we need to go down.
Leroy. Oh no.
I got a DM on Twitch, and at the same time, that same person. Oh my god. At the same time, that same person followed. So like, it was a follow and a DM at the exact same time, which is bot. You know, that's some bot behavior.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why? Fucking, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so weird. I'm back at the beginning. Cringe. Is there a shortcut for this at all?
Don't think so. I mean, technically dropping, like, where the lava is, I think is a shortcut.
Can I blow these up with the shackle?
I don't remember. I was gonna say you could try.
Also, I can't get to you because the chariot that's up here is not moving and is parked in the middle of the map.
Oh, is it?
So...
Wonderful. What if you rest? Does that do anything?
I wasn't going to because you were doing stuff.
Oh no, you're good to sit.
Come on in and take a load off. I'm glad we finally have the ability to kick each other out of co-op. Now the chariot's... Okay, this is weird.
Okay, I don't... Oh, because you gotta traverse the lava. I don't think this one does anything.
I'm dead. There go all those runes. There's just a trash mob guy with a shield that's, like, not visible on the screen and sometimes. This is a pain in the ass.
Elden Ring's doing that thing again.
Or it just isn't a good game. For a little bit at a time.
Just being a troll to be a troll.
Yeah. Can you just go away? I can't break this one.
Yeah, you gotta use it to get across the lava, so...
Alright, I'm back to the little side path. Where are you at?
The drop down.
I don't really remember how to get there.
So where the flowers were, you basically just run down the ramp a little bit further, and it'll be a little drop off onto a stone ledge.
Where the flowers were. Okay.
So yeah, that little pathway in front of you.
And... Ow. Oh, I'm dead. Where the fuck is the drop down?
It was right next to you.
Oh, it's there. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm used to running to like this corner, but I guess it's because the chariot's on the off cycle. Also, I need to be at like the other thing. Man, more tedious running for no reason.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm playing fucking Starfield. This is broken again because I didn't sit. Does this hurt me? No.
Interesting.
Just be dead.
Please. Yeah, this one's broken down here too.
It's gonna activate and scare the shit out of me. God, I wish there was a way to like leapfrog to where you are.
Yeah.
Like if you could get to the boss room and then like I die and you die and we just sake America it, like that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be
Because
ideal.
like, holy fuck, this is tedious. My controls are all fucky wucky. This enemy is actually gonna fucking kill me again. What do you play on Switch?
Well, I mainly got a Switch for fucking Metroid Prime 4 whenever that eventually comes out.
You just future-proof yourself by buying one?
That was originally the plan. I played the Pokemon games with my wife. They have the Prime trilogy remade on there now, so that's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't play it a whole lot. We just have two, so like she could like trade Pokemon and do shit like that.
Hmm.
And then,
Why is this backed up?
That's a good question. But I mean, it was just the benefit of having two for like Pokemon games and then shit like that. They're okay. I don't hardly ever play the Switch. It feels like I just don't have like I want to play the Switch, I guess.
Jesus. Am I gonna get body blocked to die here? Jesus. This is a one of those situations where it's like I don't even think this is worth doing on my end anymore. It takes so long to get down here. And I have to stop there. I think I need you to come back. Because, like, doing this alone is annoying.
I mean, I can. I don't know what else. I don't know what it's gonna do if I come
It's
back.
gonna help me get past the Albinuric by killing it.
Oh my.
Because I don't have the time to sit in that cubby and wait for the thing to, like, repattern itself so I can actually get down to the platform. Because the flower killed me last time, it's gonna kill me this time.
I will kill the Albinuric and the flower.
Now you're assuming I'm gonna be able to make it.
It's easier than me trying to go back right now.
This is becoming extremely fucking frustrating to do.
Oh, I feel ya.
I don't even know what that is.
The flower and the Albinuric are dead.
It's okay, guys. That enemy's annoying, but it's really slow, so it's okay if it takes 30 fucking hits, right? Okay. If I die randomly because the flying British thing was in a different spot for once, I'm gonna be very upset.
Oh no. Chariot, please.
These enemies so fucking cringe. Like, this isn't hard normally because these are just fucking skeletons.
Yeah.
But when it's shit that can kill you and doesn't die, it's a problem. God, that's fucking annoying. Like, that shouldn't have taken 30 fucking minutes.
I feel you. Now for my least favorite part, the dropping onto the chariot.
That part's not hard.
Something I struggle with for some reason.
I struggle seeing out of this fucking window.
here often. Good gone.
Go up the ladder. It's actually like easier to like as soon as it gets up there and like right before it stops, just drop off because it's like easier to land on it when it's facing backwards.
Yeah, once it actually positions itself, it's better.
Like the second it gets up there, it's easier. Than as soon as it turns around, it's kind of annoying. But
Okay. What is our reward? Like, what do we fight?
oh god.
I thought this was supposed to show it.
I think it's a different torch.
Oop.
I bumped into it. Monka Giga! It's on me! Head on!
Ow. Ow.
You know, I was just about to do that, but I didn't want to hit
Gonna
you
die.
with it.
Fuck off. Oh my god.
Oh, fuck. Ah, God. Found it. It's right here.
Yep, I see it. I fucking hate this boss. Cool. Oh, what a fucking ride this has been.
Mga? Bro, I fucking swung at the footsteps. Chew bead.
I have a plan for this.
I like how the footsteps just, like, you can see them and they're like 10 feet away and then they disappear and then you're dead. Like, it does that, like, weird circular sidestep thing and just, like, I get to hit you for free now. I was trying to fucking status effect it so we could see it.
Yeah.
It's really fun trying to hold down right trigger to switch stuff.
I can only
It
imagine.
is AIDS. Don't you have the commander standard? Because, like, you got and I didn't.
Oh yeah, I do have that I could use as well.
Alright, well, it's nowhere over there.
Sure about that? Just some steps.
It's on me.
Oh, there you are.
I got it. Didn't work.
Jesus.
I'm out of magic.
Well, that's not good.
Surprised I didn't just grab you out of that.
You do. Yeah.
Swings at it. It's not there, but it stabs me from there. Found it.
Yeah.
This is actually...
It's actually teleporting.
Yeah, that's that also, but like this is AIDS. Yeah, because it's going from like doing like the follow thing behind you by like a couple feet, and then it just
Want me to
goes.
kill this?
Huh?
Want me to kill this if I can?
You can try. I can actually do that if I wasn't wasting my magic on the fucking the breath. Fucker. I would lock onto it for the viewers at home, but
Oh, fuck off. Fuck you.
in before I've been dead for so long, I don't get the souls.
It was 9,600.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, no.
No. You should have died.
Hold on.
Open it and find out what it is.
That's fair. I can do that. It's a ritual pot.
Well, good thing I'm not doing a pot build.
So I can run into the lava,
You could.
and that should stake America, right?
Yeah. What's normally in here?
I don't fucking remember. Is it the wolf?
Oh, yeah. It's champion of whatever.
Yeah, it's the wolf. Yeah, it should be the wolf.
There's no lava here. This looks fucked.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's pretty fucked on your end.
Actually looks really fucking neat if this was like the outside of like a building. Like a hangover. Or like an overhang, rather.
Yeah.
Looks really like if this was a giant window right here and this was like the fucking one. Yeah, that looks neat. Is there no chariot?
Not that it's coming.
Quick. Walk into the non-existent floor. Come on, FromSoft. Be better. Your map's not even loaded.
Fun fact, I think I was too far from the stake.
Ooh. You already have the you have the stuff though, right?
There's 50k souls down there though.
Well, it looks like now you get to do
You know what? I don't care.
Now
I
you
don't
get to do
care.
the spicy run back.
Nope, I'm good. You get your item, I'm done.
Ritual.
Those runes are not worth it. Ah, that was miserable.
Yep.
My B button is sticking. That's concerning.
I like how I just fixed all my sticky buttons like the last time we were playing, and then my fucking bumper broke.
How could this happen?
I was like, I'm gonna get some more time out of this controller. Only plays Dark Souls games with it, so the bumper is just fucking constantly abused.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah, good idea.
Yes.
Good. What's the Oh, these are here because we've done patches this thing. Oh, you're not supposed to be there.
Oh, interesting. That's fine.
Thematically
This is fine.
appropriate.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, game is unhappy.
This is what Starfield's like for me.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
I've modded that game to
It's a
shit.
legendary item.
Where is there a legendary item?
On me.
I'm
The other
climbing.
side of the tower. Yeah, on the other side of the tower. I assume with like DLSS and like other mods and shit like that.
Yeah, mostly that. I have like I have the DLSS thing. I've got the achievement enabler. I installed Starfield UI to fix the fucking or change the UI, and it's so much fucking better.
Anything good up in the tower?
I think it's an upgrade stone, but I've already forgotten.
Oh, good. Glad.
I never liked the UI mod people made for Skyrim, but this UI mod that I'm using is actually like really, really fucking nice.
I can take it or leave it. I've seen it and it's okay.
I enjoy having like the filter options on the side to like do that, and being able to like sort by a bunch of specific stuff that I can like choose from. And also knowing like the stats of like every category, like I can find like the mass of like each of the sections is really good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Being able to like see which thing I'm moving stuff to, and having it like let me do like it just like gives me a lot more control over like what I want.
Gotcha.
And being able, it like the fact it's more compact is nice. I think the original one's kind of just needlessly fucking blown out for no reason. I don't know. I just vastly fucking prefer it.
That's fair. Lots of smithing stones over here.
Lightning strike. Somber. Aeonian butterfly.
I tell you what, I think I'm good to take a break here.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm starting to lose the battle. And I have errands I gotta run later, so.
Cringe.
Yeah. I should be around for a little bit tonight.
A little bit.
Well, not late is what I should say. I'll be around, I just won't be around late.
What does that mean? Or are you busy tomorrow too? Or Saturday?
Yeah.
Busy.
Always busy, unfortunately.
Well, we'll have to see if we can do something tomorrow night, because I want to keep doing this. Well, tonight.
Yeah, I'm down to do more tonight.
Okay. Yep. Fucking stupid hero grave.
It was pretty good up until then. Then it got pretty rough.